Case Keenum starts in his place. Mayfield was advised against playing by team doctors and his own doctor, according to ESPN Browns reporter Jake Trotter.
There's a lot of inflammation in that left shoulder, and he needed time for that inflammation to go down so he can get back to rehabbing it, strengthening it, stabilizing it, and everything goes well. It's definitely possible that Baker only misses one game, that he could be back for that October 31st game against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Cleveland and Pittsburgh, both 3-3, 2 games back of AFC North leading Baltimore. NBA, ESPN's Andrew Lopez reporting Pelicans center Jonas Valanciunas agreed to a 2-year, $30 million extension. New Orleans tonight opens up its season at home against a Philly team that is without point guard Ben Simmons. He's serving a 1-game suspension for conduct detrimental to the team, was kicked out of practice yesterday. Simmons wants a trade. The Sixers have not gotten any offers that they deem worthy of a deal.
Getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit is another reason banking with Capital One is one of the easiest decisions in the history of decisions. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. You all right, bro?
Good, yeah, man. Just had the wrong.
Oh, God, yeah. An hour and 18 minutes early.
No,
Ooh, wow.
no. I was bringing the audio
and
over.
Mr. Toby Tomplay. Oh, my guy. I swear, Muse. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Hey, Muse, guess what?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
What?
Buddy of yours texted the show text line yesterday.
Hump day.
Really?
Got his name, but I'll find it.
But I'll find it.
It's hump day.
Zachary Guy.
Oh, man. I haven't heard from Zachary Guy in a long time.
Zachary Guy shared a little bit of info with me.
He's a guy. What'd he share?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
That Muso
Hump day.
used to work
It's hump day.
at Sonic.
Mike.
It's true.
What day is it, Mike?
That's true.
Paulie.
Hump day.
Yes,
Good spot if you got the munchies, huh?
It's hump day.
absolutely.
You'd be
told my boy.
surprised.
No, I wouldn't.
The people who showed up there with the munchies.
No, I wouldn't. I just said it. I would not be surprised in any way. I told Zachary Guy, man, I did not need to know that.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hey, Muse.
Yeah.
Did you wear the roller skates?
No. I was not a car hop.
I'd have tipped you big. I always tip them big time, Muse, when they come out on the roller skates.
No, the only time I ever would car hop was out of necessity, so I didn't have skates.
So
no.
you did car hop.
Like 5 times. That's it. And it was literally out of necessity. Other than that, no, that is not at all what I did. Not me.
Did you come on the little speaker when we pushed the button?
I was about to say I was needed inside.
So whenever I push the button, you'd say, "Thank you for choosing Sonic. This is Matthew Muso."
I mean, we no. Just,
Is that what you'd say?
No, it's not what I say. No, that's not it. You can't. I mean, first of all, you definitely can't do that on the job, which is why this whole theory you have is wrong, because I don't do that on this job. That's just not how you operate.
I didn't did not need to know that. Muso. I mean, we've all had awful jobs in our life, right?
It was a good job.
Not that working at Sonic is an awful job.
That was
There's
a
a
good
line.
job.
Wait, hang on. Let's see. Yeah, hey, who's calling?
What? There's a line.
Can you turn up the phone? Yeah, hey, who's calling?
Yeah, I'd like to place an order, please.
Yeah, what would you like? This is Sonic.
Yeah, I'd like a grilled cheese double burger.
Is that?
If I can, and some broccoli cheddar tots. I see that's a featured item. and then give me a chili cheese coney too. Is this Muso, the Sonic guy?
No,
wait.
Who is this?
Could you repeat? Did you said you wanted a bacon burger?
Oh no.
Okay, would you start over with your order, please?
I need the grilled cheese double burger.
What is that?
Okay, and what else?
Some tater tots.
Okay, you want fries?
Tater tots.
You said supersonic breakfast burrito?
I need the supersonic breakfast burrito.
Got it.
And hold on.
And what's your drink?
I want the supersonic blue coconut slush.
Is that all?
You gotta ask what size, Scone.
What size?
There you go.
Medium.
Oh. Well, it's happy hour right now. You sure you don't want to go large?
Yeah, give me a large.
Boom.
Good job. Always upsell. Always upsell. Is that all?
That's it.
All right, drive around for your total.
It's Sonic. You don't drive around. It's a drive-in.
No, there are some times where you drive around now.
That's
there
not
are.
real. That's
the
not
one
a
on
real
College
Sonic.
Drive. The one on Perkins. The one on Perkins. You drive around.
No, you can't do that. That's a drive-through. It's
the one
supposed to be a drive-in.
The one right across the street from us has the drive around.
They don't even actually have a place to drive
yeah,
in.
you can't even drive. That's just a drive-in, a drive-through.
How times have changed.
I know. You know what else I really miss? I miss the two guys in the car in the commercials.
I met them.
They were great.
I've met them before.
Oh, really?
I did.
Did they have like their high achiever banquet and they had the Sonic guys in the car?
Yeah, it was at national convention.
Oh, you went to the Sonic National Convention
twice actually. They're hilarious people.
Oh,
they were really cool.
Sonic. I got. Hey, Paulie. I got what I learned today.
How about that?
There's a Sonic National Convention, and Muso went twice.
Twice. TJ and I don't remember the other guy's name.
That was Terrio.
Was that Terrio? I couldn't tell it was Terrio.
He texted me. He's like, "Can I call in with an order right now?" I swear I had sports stuff to talk about, but you know what? You know what? I got 6 weeks staring me in the face of everybody asking me, "What about Joe Brady? What about Lincoln Riley? What about Brian Kelly? What about Mike Tomlin? What about?" Like, I've answered every one of those questions about every one of those coaches 100 times already, and we're like 4 days into this. So, what about is going to drive me nuts over the next 6 weeks. I'm going to be patient as I can, and I'm going to answer all your questions as best I can as I know stuff. But when I find out my boy Muse worked at Sonic and went to the national convention not once but twice. Where was it?
First time was in San Diego. Second time was in Kansas City.
Why wouldn't they do it in Oklahoma City? That's where they're from.
Well, they've done that before, but it moves around, man. It moves around. You know, I actually saw Gary Vee speak at it one year.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
great. How did that go?
It was pretty cool.
Did he curse a lot?
No, not a lot, but told the story about the baseball cards and man, at the mall and all that. It was good, man. He was good.
All right, great. Gary Vee was a guest picker one year here. Was it maybe 2 years ago?
Yeah,
I think 2019 he was the one of our celebrity guest pickers one year. Okay. Great stuff. I'm kind of due for a break already. I don't want to. I can't do that to the audience. I have to give you something. All right. Ed Orgeron on the SEC Coaches Teleconference says team is on to Ole Miss now.
Obviously, we were very pleased when I went over to Florida Gators. We had the 24-hour rule, had to move forward. On a very, very good Ole Miss football team, one of the best offenses we're going to see all year. Lane Kiffin is one of the best play callers in college football.
And Lane Kiffin talked about facing LSU.
Well, very challenging game coming back home. Really hoping and encouraging our fans to show up and create an environment to help the players win. How that worked, in our last 2 road games. how they can affect an offense. So hopefully that'll help us. We have a lot of injury issues, that we've played with now going on week 3. So people got to step up.
There is your obligatory sports content for this segment. I'll take a break, come back, and promise we'll actually talk about something you care about. It's AFR.
AFR.
The place you really should be eating is Pluckers. Nicholson or Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Uber Eats, DoorDash, you can have your Pluckers wings delivered to you. And remember, tonight, my goodness, the Pellies, the Pels. Season tips off 7 o'clock from the blender. If you're not going to be there, the best place to be is at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus, or Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Trivia tonight and every Wednesday, so what a night. Get by Pluckers. Pels tip off at 7. Eat wings, drink beer. Trivia starts at 8. Test your knowledge. 5 rounds, live action trivia. Win Pluckers gift cards. Make a night of it. If you just want to stay at the homestead, punch up the Uber Eats or DoorDash app and have your Pluckers delivered right to you. Best place to watch the game or to grab your wings to go for the game. It's at Pluckers, Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery if you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
In most cases, you'll never get more for your trade-in than right now at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Now's your chance to upgrade. You can pre-order your new Toyota today or choose one of our pre-owned vehicles and we'll buy back your current vehicle at a price that will absolutely amaze you. You can walk away with more money in your pocket than you ever thought possible. At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, that's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at patientplusuc.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are now open for business and are ready to serve our customers with disaster relief employee pricing off I-10 in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crews at Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are going to do right by you.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rufino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, glad to have you rolling along with us here. Taylor Calandro, Bourbon Dictionary in about 30 minutes. Start of hour 2, Andrew Lopez will be with us. The Pels open up their season tonight in the Blender, 7 o'clock. No Zion, of course. They're going to play the 76ers. This is, of course, the debut of the Willie Green era in New Orleans, and the Sixers will be without Zion. So Willie Green was asked in pre-game shoot-around today about Ben Simmons not being there for Philly and if that has anything to do with the game plan tonight for the Pels against Philly.
Not much. We were preparing both ways that it's a possibility that he could play and it's a possibility that he wouldn't play. Our plan is going to be our plan. They're a good team. They're well coached, an experienced team. We got to play a really solid game in order to give ourselves an opportunity to win.
We will preview that game, and Andrew Lopez will be with us to talk about his report that Valanciunas has agreed to a 2-year extension. So he's now under contract for 3 years with New Orleans. So we'll get to all that about 45 minutes from right now. Saints are back at it, getting ready for Monday Night Football against Seattle as they're coming off of their bye. And we shared the news with you on Tuesday that Will Lutz, Marcus Davenport, and Quan Alexander have all been designated to return from IR. What that means is they are eligible. Their window is now open to return to the active roster. And it's a 21-day window. Once you've been designated to return, you have a 21-day period where at any point during those 21 days, you could be added back to the active roster. So once they're healthy. So you would assume Quan, Davenport, Lutz, all three of those will be back and playing within the next 3 weeks at some point. And I started to think about this. Traequan Smith is also in that group who should very well be back. Remember, Eric McCoy and Teron Armstead never went to IR. They were just scratches. So they never went to IR because if you go to IR, then you have to miss at least 3 weeks. And the hope was that those guys wouldn't have to miss 3 weeks. Now they have. And so they could be back at any point regardless. But they never went to IR. So I'm just talking about the guys that went to IR. And I was thinking about this. And which of those would be most valuable for New Orleans this week, certainly, and moving forward? And there's a case to be made for Quan, obviously. It means you're starting weak side linebacker opposite to Mario Davis. Marcus Davenport was, in the opener against Green Bay. He had a tackle for loss. He had a sack before he hurt his pectoral muscle. And then Traequan, everyone was expecting, with the Saints being so thin at receiver, Traequan would add at least an experienced guy that has some deep threat ability. If I started thinking about it, which of those guys might be the most important for this team in the short term? There's a case to be made for Quan because he's a starter on the defensive side and such an impact guy. But for me, it's actually Marcus Davenport. I think of all the guys that are out right now, Davenport, for me, is the one that I think they most need back in a hurry. And follow me here. I think the Saints are a team that obviously this version of the Saints is going to lead with defense. They're going to be a team that their defense paces them and their offense plays complementary football until Sean Payton is comfortable enough to open up this offense, which it seems like they're getting there. But when they're healthy, when Michael Thomas notwithstanding, we all understand that he's the best player of all these and the most important to get back. But I'm talking about the ones that went to IR. Because when Thomas is back in Traequan and the offense is whole, then you'll start to see what it looks like when they get their rhythm. You hope by December they're full on sprint and you're playing your best ball going into the playoffs. But until then, this team is going to be paced by defense. And the reality is that this Saints team's pass rush has been not only awful, it's been non-existent. New Orleans, through 5 games, has just 8 sacks. That's 30th in the NFL. 30 out of 32. This is coming off back-to-back seasons where the Saints were top 10 in sacks. Last year, the Saints were 8th in the NFL with 45 sacks. We all know what's happened. You saw Trey Hendrickson leave in free agency to Cincinnati. Cam Jordan the production just hasn't been there. At least the sack numbers haven't been there, even if the pressures have. And you just haven't been able to replace that production from Trey Hendrickson. Now, it sure looked like Marcus Davenport was going to be that guy the way he started this season. And that would create a rotation with Granderson behind him and Tano Passanio coming in, who had, if you remember, a sack and a forced fumble in that first game. And then behind that, you could talk about a Carl Granderson, and you could talk about Peyton Turner, and then you have a rotation and fresh legs, and that's how you can generate that rush. But when Marcus Davenport went out and Tano Passanio got injured and it shuffled guys and Peyton Turner had been nicked and he had to play inside and out, you're just thin and you've been awful there. When Marcus Davenport comes back, provided he's healthy and in the form that he was showing early, that should either do one of two things. If teams continue to focus on Cam Jordan, you have the same effect that happened last year for Trey Hendrickson, where you're going to double team Cam. All right, let my guy on the other side get a one-on-one. And if they decide to start, if Davenport starts going off and teams start to shade their pass protection toward Davenport, then maybe Cam has an opportunity to win some more one-on-ones, which he hadn't had that opportunity in a long time in his career. So, and you get your rotation. The other guy I'll throw out randomly is maybe Zach Bond. Because Quan's about to come back, and because Pete Werner has proven to be a more than capable starter in the NFL, second-round pick as a rookie, we questioned it because we didn't really get to see it in preseason. He didn't look out of place at all against Washington. Now, I would imagine there'll be rookie moments for Pete Werner, but the drop-off, Quan to Werner, doesn't seem as severe as we all might have anticipated. So because you're going to have Quan back and Werner, that kind of frees you up to say, hey, Zach Bond, do the thing you do really well. Line up as an outside backer, put your hand in the dirt, and just get off and go get the quarterback. Even if it's a third down pass rush specialist. If you need to generate a pass rush, maybe that's the way to go do it. So of all these guys, I'm most interested, most excited to see Davenport come back. And the second guy I'll tell you, and this might sound a little odd and a little bit of a reach, but it's actually, work with me here. It's actually Nick Vannett. And this is why. Sean Payton, his entire time in New Orleans, he has always had the pass-catching tight end, right? If it was Jeremy Shockey, if it was Jimmy Graham, when they went and got Kobe Fleener and Jared Cook, and now it's Adam Troutman, he's always had that guy. But he's also always had the blocker. If it was Dan Campbell or Human or more recently Josh Hill, they've always had that guy. That guy on this team supposed to be Nick Vannett. Well, he got hurt, and so Adam Troutman has been forced into that role, and that ain't what he does. Troutman has the possibility to be a very good pass-catching tight end. I think he will grow into that role. But lacking that guy, lacking that extra blocker, it's made your pass protection weaker, it's made you predictable by personnel, and I think it's put more on Troutman's plate than he's ready for. If you get Nick Vannett back into this offense, you add a blocker, which gives Jameis more time to throw, which opens up your running game even more, and it frees up Troutman to be more of a pass catcher. So I know that's a one-off and that's going to sound random, but I think that's one of those guys who does things that isn't going to show up in the stat sheet. He does things that won't be, of course you can chart anything, but it's not going to be the receptions or the touchdowns or anything like that, and it's exciting to watch Juwan Johnson go make those plays, but I think having Vannett play his role is going to open up guys to do the things they do really well. So that's another guy keep in mind when he comes back. He's brought here to be the next Josh Hill. Let's see if he can be that guy. And then, begrudgingly, I will give you Traequan. I will give you Traequan because the Saints are so thin at receiver. Because they have had to find creative ways in the passing game to get the passing game going in some way. It's just, listen, the Saints have been anemic passing. But we have gone through where in the past 2 games, Sean Payton has at least opened up the passing attempts for Jameis Winston. And he's looking at opportunities to stretch the field. And I think we're going to see more of that. And the one thing, and this is my hope, this is my knock on Formica hope, is that Traequan, had he been in this New Orleans offense 8 to 10 years ago, maybe his production would be at a vastly different level. He's that speedy guy that can blow the top off. And in the later years of Drew Brees' career, the Saints just weren't that as a passing offense. The Saints were more of a dink and dunk, cut you up, death by 1,000 paper cuts, because that's what Drew Brees' superpower was. When he had lost the arm strength, his accuracy was still his superpower. So you go draft Michael Thomas, because Michael Thomas, within 15 yards of the line of scrimmage, you throw it in a certain catch radius, he's going to come down with it. Alvin Kamara, you could dump it to him, he can make in space, make a guy miss, and you throw a 2-yard dump-off pass that goes for 8 or 12. The Saints haven't had the Ted Ginn, the Devery Henderson, because Brees hasn't been able to do that. Jameis can. And I know right now that really is the thing that Deontay Harris specializes in. But you put Traequan on the field as well, it's another deep threat. At least a guy that can create spacing on the field if he can run a safety or a corner on a deep route. So I'm at least curious to see with this quarterback. And remember how much time we saw the stories this offseason about Traequan going out to the West Coast and working with Jameis and getting their timing together. Like, I would at least be interested, because they've been so thin at receiver, what it's going to look like to have someone who has actually played NFL football games and been a competent, at times, NFL receiver with that skill set, what he might bring to this offense. So the Saints are getting healthier. It's something that we expected would happen coming off the bye. We should find out soon which guys are going to be available for this Monday Night Football against Seattle. As the injury report comes out, we'll certainly dive into all of it. But I really think those are the guys immediately who you're looking forward to have the biggest impact on this team as they make their way into Monday Night Football against Seattle, and beyond that against Tampa and Atlanta, and then get into the second half of the season. All right, it's after further review. We're going to go around the SEC coming up here in just a quick bit. Remember, DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings app or go to DraftKings.com. Set your roster, stay under the salary cap, and have a chance to win millions in prizes. And remember, if you're a new player, use the code Baton Rouge. Use the code Baton Rouge, one word, Baton Rouge, all smushed together, and they will give you a free shot to win millions in prizes at DraftKings. DraftKings.com. Of course, you got Major League Baseball playoffs going on. The NBA is in full swing. Your NFL weekend is a day away. Make sure you're having fun playing daily fantasy with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. It is DraftKings. Use the code Baton Rouge when you download the DraftKings app or go to DraftKings.com. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Taylor Calandro in about 15 minutes for a little Bourbon Dictionary. Andrew Lopez of ESPN.com to start hour 2. Pels open up tonight at home against the Sixers. No Ben Simmons, no Zion. Let's see if the Pels can get the Willie Green era off to a good start with a win. We'll preview it with Andrew Lopez. And then a busy hour 3. Russ Mitchell is going to be with us at the top of hour 3. And then Christian Lockacher will be with us after. We'll talk some Ed Orgeron, some LSU defense, all that good stuff. So tons still to get to. Glad you're hanging out with us here around the SEC next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. The number one complaint to the National Association of Realtors. Called my realtor, put a sign in the yard, listed my house in the MLS, never heard from him again. With Darren James, you will never worry about that. I cannot tell you the number of clients, AFR listeners who have hired Darren James, that have told me, man, I would send that guy an email at 11:30 at night. I'd get a response immediately. You want to know why? Darren's mantra. Late to bed, early to rise, work like heck and advertise. Just one of his many mantras. But Darren's whole premise of his business is to give his clients an unbelievable customer service experience. And it shows. That's why he's in the 1% of the top realtors in America. Need to sell your home? Call Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, rolling along. Always appreciate Stevie Levy, the king of the wing. Our friends over at Pluckers. No better place to watch all your sports action than Pluckers. Nicholson, Bluebond, of course, now available on Uber Eats and DoorDash. LSU Saturday 2:30 in Oxford against Ole Miss. When Lane Kiffin met with the media on Monday, he was kind of hesitant on Matt Corral, who carried the ball 30 times in their win against Tennessee. Said that he wasn't sure. Kiffin said he wasn't sure if Corral was going to be healthy enough to play against LSU. Orgeron called that a smokescreen. Straight called him out. On the SC Coaches teleconference Wednesday morning, Kiffin was asked for an update on his quarterback.
It sounded like Matt was pretty beat up. Do you have any update on his status for the game?
Yeah, I've never, spoken details about injuries. So I'm not going to start now, except for what I always say is that we hope everyone plays. But that's hope. So.
I respect the effort. I really do respect the effort at the smokescreen. But Matt Corral might have been knocked around a little bit with 30 carries, but you best believe Matt Corral is one of the odds-on frontrunners for the Heisman Trophy. Through 6 games, he has thrown 14 touchdowns, 1 interception. Remember, that was his scarlet letter. That was the thing everyone said about Matt Corral was, man, he turns the ball over too much. The 5 interceptions last year against Arkansas, all the turnovers in the game against LSU. 1 pick through 6 games for Matt Corral so far. Guy's been stellar.
he's going to play. I did an interview earlier today with Richard Cross at Super Talk Mississippi, and he was asking me about feelings on the game. He's like, have they changed it all after the win against Florida? I said, is Matt Corral playing? I mean, if Matt Corral isn't playing in this game, then yes, absolutely. Everyone's viewpoint on this game should fundamentally change. But if Corral's out there, they're going to score because they scored on everybody. Even they finally broke through against Bama. I mean, they moved the ball against Bama. They just couldn't capitalize in the first half, and then they ended up scoring in the second half. But it will be LSU will have to keep pace scoring the football if Matt Corral plays. But I think we're all expecting that he will. But it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. Always love telling you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Michelli.com. Get to the website. They offer ISO 17025 accreditation. If you're not sure what that is, you probably don't need Michelli. But if you do know what that is, then you definitely need Michelli. Since 1947, family-owned and operated, 29 offices and calibration labs in 11 different states, so you can find that location near you. Their track system offers 24/7, 365 access to your calibration certificates. I could tell you all of that, but listen, if you weigh or measure something in your business, they sell, service, and rent the products you use to weigh and measure. I say that all the time. But what's most impressive about Michelli is that they're family-owned and operated. You can walk into Michelli's Harahan office, walk in the main door. First door on the left, which is always open, is Joel McMullen, president, CEO of the company, open door policy. And you can just walk in and talk to him. I love how transparent they are, how warm and welcoming they are. It's a great business that's been such a leader in their industry for so many years. Michelli Weighing and Measurement. They say we show the world what measurement can do. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. All right, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Starting quarterback Luke Doty needs surgery on his injured foot. He will miss the remainder of the season. Shane Beamer said Doty will have the operation later this week and will not return to the team until spring practice. So that means former grad assistant Zeb Noland improbably will start for South Carolina as long as he's healthy the remainder of the season. The Gamecocks are in College Station to take on the Aggies Saturday. Doty, a 6'1", 210-pound sophomore, missed the first two games, you might remember, due to an injury when someone stepped on his foot in practice in August.
The Florida Gators.
Dan Mullen non-committal about who his starting quarterback will be for the game against Georgia a week from Saturday. Emory Jones started against LSU and has actually started every game this season. But Jones did not play down the stretch, and it was Anthony Richardson that led Florida to 4 consecutive touchdown drives in the second half. Jones has thrown 10 touchdowns with 9 picks. Richardson 5 passing touchdowns with 3 interceptions, but has also run for 3 scores. We'll keep you posted as Florida and Georgia head into their rivalry week next week.
The Auburn Tigers.
Brian Harsin optimistic that Auburn's bye week will bring some good news on the injury front, mostly with linebacker Owen Popoe, who's missed the last 4 games after suffering a leg injury late in the game in Auburn's loss to Penn State. Popoe could return to the field, Harsin believes, a week from Saturday. Former 5-star linebacker, 6'1", 226. He is the team captain and team leader. With Popoe's absence, fellow captain Chandler Wooten has stepped into his starting role at linebacker alongside Zacoby McClain.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia pulled off the 5-star flip. Southern Cal commit Michael Williams rebuffed. Sorry, Paulie. The Trojans and flipped to Georgia. He's the number 6 defensive lineman in the class, the number 29 overall recruit for 2022. Williams now is the second 5-star commit for Georgia in this class, which now has 20 commitments. Williams, 6'5", 250, was on an unofficial visit for the Arkansas game when he saw Georgia pound Arkansas a few weeks ago.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Former Kentucky head coach Tubby Smith. He'll make his long-awaited return to Rupp Arena. His High Point Panthers are headed to Lexington to take on Kentucky in a non-conference matchup on New Year's Eve. And when he does, the school's going to raise his jersey to the rafters to honor the 1998 national championship winning coach. Smith will be the 45th retired jersey to hang in the rafters at Kentucky. It includes other championship coaches, Adolph Rupp, Joby Hall, and Rick Pitino. Of course, Tubby Smith, after Kentucky, had stops at Minnesota, Texas Tech, and Memphis. He's currently coaching his alma mater, High Point. Smith was inducted into the Kentucky Athletics Hall of Fame back in 2013. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy, Trey Beal, and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get at Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, glad to have y'all hanging out with us here. Taylor Calandro Bourbon Dictionary, that's coming up. Get your questions in. If you have any booze questions, fire away. We're getting to bourbon season, which is always a fun time of year for yours truly and many other bourbon collectors. So get your questions in. You can tweet me at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, or you can always text your question to 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro is coming up. And Andrew Lopez, 19 minutes from right now, previewing the Pels season opener against the Philadelphia 76ers from the Blender. Glad to have you with us here. Stick around on AFR.
AFR.
So we're into fall and heading toward winter, and that means pool season is pretty much over right now. If next spring you want to be swimming, call Pinnacle Exterior Construction now. Call them now. They'll come out to the house. They'll look at all of the options. They'll go over plans with you, and then they can get you on the schedule for when the weather turns cold, maybe around the first of the year. They can break ground. That gives them plenty of time to finish your project so you're swimming when the weather gets nice. So start that process now. 757-6138, 757-6138, 757-6138 for Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Custom pools, outdoor kitchens, fences, decks, bulkheads, they do it all at Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Look for that Pinnacle Green and check them out online at pecbuilt.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are now open for business and are ready to serve our customers with disaster relief employee pricing off I-10 in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crews at Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are going to do right by you.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barb.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number one. Glad you're hanging out and always appreciate a couple of minutes with Taylor Calandro, Wine and Spirits Director over at Calandro's. 2 locations in Baton Rouge. Perkins Road near Seagan, Mid-City on Government Street, just down the road from us. How are you, dude?
Good, man. What's up?
Oh, just following coaching. Actually, not coaching search stuff at all. Just answering the same question about the coaching search over and over and over and over again.
Who's going to be our coach, man?
Yeah, right, exactly. So let's talk booze. What's new?
Actually, we got a couple new things this week. It's walking in the door right now. We're getting Basil Hayden toasted barrel as we speak. It's literally getting unloaded off the truck right now.
Is that a new release? I don't think I've ever seen Basil Hayden toasted barrel.
Yeah, so the past few years they've done a special release. Basil Hayden has. They did a rye, which was outstanding. I love that rye. They did a darker rye, which I wasn't a huge fan of, and then they did a Caribbean rum finish. Basil Hayden too. This one is a toasted barrel, and it's a little different than a regular Basil Hayden. Basil Hayden is usually a high rye. This is, instead of rye, they used brown rice, so it's a little softer. I've tried it. It's okay. It's not my favorite thing on earth, but I think there's going to be a niche for it. Sure.
I'm gonna try. I do really enjoy toasted barrel whiskeys, so I'm excited to try it. I'm glad to know that.
Yeah, I mean, I do too, and my expectations were very high, so maybe that's why I left a little, But it's still really good though.
Let's get some questions here. I'll jump on the text line. There's a bunch already. Kenneth McCown, what's the most overrated whiskey or bourbon?
Pappy Van Winkle.
I did just flatly disagree with you.
It is so unbelievably overhyped. It is very, very good, but for the hoopla and all the bull that it gets, it is so overrated. And Bland's is in the same category too.
I would agree with Bland's, but Pappy for me always holds up. Every time I've ever had it, it always holds up.
It's outstanding. But say you did it in a blind taste, would you even know?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Brian Neal, Garrison Brothers, best Texas bourbons, yes or no?
I love Garrison Brothers.
I hate Garrison Brothers.
I love Garrison Brothers. We did a pick with them like a year ago or so. They Garrison Brothers does different. It's really young whiskey usually, but they age in micro barrels. So they age the liquid ages a little faster, and also it's in Texas. It's hotter. So that also expedites the aging process.
If it was $25, I might like it a lot more than $100, which is an absolute absurd price point for that whiskey. Anyway,
it does run up pretty high up there. I agree with you on that.
That for me, it's all like I always look at value. It's like, what am I paying for what I'm getting? And that anyway, the question was for you, not for me. I'm sorry. Thomas,
yeah, I mean, just the juice itself, I do like it. The price point is a little high. I will agree with you on that.
Thomas Gallo, unfortunately, I won't get to listen live, but what are your thoughts on Widow Jane?
I love Widow Jane. We did a barrel pick with Widow Jane 5 or 6 years ago, and since then, Widow Jane has absolutely exploded in popularity. We've got a couple of their flagships on the shelf right now, but I like Widow Jane.
I still have a bottle of that barrel pick y'all did. It's not empty.
Yeah, it was a 10-year. It was a good little pick we did.
If you want any of it, I still have some. I'll give you a little.
Okay, cool.
I asked Taylor about Puncher's Chance Bourbon. Thinking of trying it. It's from Grant Jordan.
I've never heard of Puncher's Chance. I don't know what that is.
Okay. Let's see.
I don't know what that is.
Where are we? Ron Bryan said, "Why is Crown Royal Salty Caramel only available certain times during the year?"
Well, I don't even know. I guess it's going to be available this year. That's a hard bottle to get. That salted caramel and the vanilla they did were both extremely sought after and hard to find, and I don't know why they do them just once a year or whatever, because they do apple year round, and apple is one of the most atrocious whiskeys on the planet. So it's literally one of the most disgusting things you can put in your mouth. But they produce that year round. So
Rusty Gomez, what's the format for the raffle, and do you know what charity you're benefiting yet?
We do not actually. I think we have an idea of what charity we're doing. I need to finalize that. I'm not going to say that yet. And it's up in limbo if we're going to do it in person or online. I think we're going to make a decision by the end of this month. It'll be early December, though.
This is from Trey Truitt. He said, just got a bottle of George Dickel Blue Label, the bottle in bond. Thoughts on it? Have you had it?
I've had one of them. I think there's a couple different ones, and I can't remember which one's which. And I can't remember which one I had. I thought it was great. I know Dickel doesn't get a lot of love, but I enjoyed it.
I agree with you on Dickel. I don't know why it gets hated on. Alan Marrero, thoughts on Bell Mead Bourbon?
I love Bell Mead, but and there's a whole bunch of iterations of Bell Mead. Actually, I tried the Bell Mead Honey the other day, and that's a distillery-only release. The only problem with Bell Mead is the same thing with Garrison Brothers. It does run up there pretty high sometimes.
Henry Roberts asked Taylor, is Larceny Bourbon any good?
The regular Larceny is fine. It's a good. I think it's fine to have on your shelf. It's under $30. The barrel proof is really good, and one of the barrel proofs actually got a few awards a couple years ago too. But the barrel proof is hard to find.
The thing I'll say about Larceny, and I like wheated bourbons, that's one that's affordable that you can find basically anywhere. Like, understand your expectations for it. For a $25 bourbon or whatever it is. But if you like wheated bourbon, I think you'll like it.
It's a good everyday bottle. I mean, but like I said, the barrel proof is a little more expensive, but it's also harder to find, and I think the barrel proof is really good.
Okay, here's another one who asked not to give out his name because he's at work. He said, that bourbons that are better than Blanton's or just as good that are attainable?
Four Roses Small Batch Select. I talk about that bourbon all the time. Yeah. It's one of my favorite shelf bourbons, and it's right around the same price. Actually, I could go down a laundry list of bourbons that are better than blends.
Here's one from Todd. He was asking about the supply chain shortages affecting all the commodities. Are you expecting the prices to come back down once supplies have kind of been replenished?
That is a good question. I'm not an economist. I would not expect prices to come down from anywhere on anything at this very moment without getting political.
Sean said, what brand will knock me out until the start of the 2022 football season?
Well, man, you just need to find you a good barrel proof. There's a few of them on the shelf everywhere, so just find you a high proof something or another.
Loyal Duet said, have you tried Remus Repeal Reserve?
I have not, but we do have it available at Calandro's. I haven't got a chance to try it.
Jeremy Chasson, what's the best whiskey to introduce my wife to who mostly drinks white wine?
Try Basil Hayden. I talk about Basil Hayden all the time as an intro into bourbon. It's an 80 proof bourbon. It is light. It is agreeable for people that don't necessarily drink whiskey. So try that.
Austin said, tell me about Howler Head, and is there anything in comparison?
I don't know what Howler is. Howler Head the monkey bourbon?
I have no idea.
The banana bourbon?
I have no idea. No.
Howler Head whiskey. I think it's the yes, it is the banana bourbon. That's what I thought it was. I can't even remember the name. Yeah, it's terrible.
Got about a minute. Garrett Ellison, best bourbon for an old fashioned.
I like rye. Me and you talk about that all the time. I like to use rye. Sazerac rye is great for an old fashioned or bullet rye.
Lyle Ploche sent a picture of Yellowstone 101. He said, any good?
I love Yellowstone. We were supposed to do a Yellowstone pick this year, a couple months ago, and got canceled because of COVID. But I like Yellowstone. I think Yellowstone is a good, solid whiskey for sure.
Last one, Lenson Mobile. Where can I find the beer that Stone Cold Steve Austin made, developed, owns? Not sure the proper way to say it, but sure would love to try it.
Is it Skull Crusher Ranch or something? I haven't even heard of that.
Hey, man, you're the beer guy. You would know.
Beer that's not here yet, I don't necessarily know about. So it's not here yet, so I'm not 100% sure.
Taylor Calandro, the wine and spirits director over at Calandro's 2 locations in Baton Rouge. Little Bourbon Dictionary. Always appreciate it, man. Thanks for a couple of minutes.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, man. Enjoy the rest of your week. That's Taylor Calandro. This is After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Pels open up their season tonight at the Blender. Andrew Lopez of ESPN.com will join us next. Talk about the new contract for Valanciunas, also to preview the game with the Pels and the 76ers tonight. It's a Hump Day edition of AFR brought to you by Pluckers. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Also in the next hour, hopefully, we'll get an updated injury report. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. I tell you all the time, do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. First step. If you had hurricane damage, call your insurance company, file a claim. Once the adjuster comes out, gives you your scope of work, give us a shout. We'll get you on the schedule, get you tidied up ASAP. HUDCOroofing.com, serving the entire state of Louisiana. HUDCOroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCOroofing.com.
HUDCO Roofing! HUDCO Roofing! When you need a roof, call someone you know. Moscona, Ontario.
All you need is HUDCO.
HUDCO Roofing. HUDCO Roofing.
Call HUDCO Roofing. 364-1007.
Roofing. HUDCO Roofing. HUDCO Roofing.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
In most cases, you'll never get more for your trade-in than right now at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Now's your chance to upgrade. You can pre-order your new Toyota today or choose one of our pre-owned vehicles and we'll buy back your current vehicle at a price that will absolutely amaze you. You can walk away with more money in your pocket than you ever thought possible. At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, that's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Hand Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Red Sox and Astros about to face off in Game 5 of the American League Championship Series. Series is tied 2-2. First pitch in 8 minutes on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. NFL, no Baker Mayfield for the Browns tomorrow night against the Broncos. The quarterback is out. He's still dealing with a torn labrum in his left shoulder. A source told ESPN's Jake Trotter Mayfield was advised against playing by team doctors and his own doctor. Case Keenum gets the call in his place.
I'm built for this. This is what I've done my whole career, not knowing if I'm going to start up until game time, to not knowing who's out there with me, to introducing myself to players while I'm calling a play type stuff. So, I'm excited.
Case Keenum's last start was for Washington in 2019. Ahead of tonight's matchup against the Pelicans, 76ers coach Doc Rivers said the drama surrounding point guard Ben Simmons is muting the fun typically associated with NBA opening night. Simmons, who wants a trade, won't play. Instead, serves a one-game suspension for conduct detrimental to the team. Rivers said he expects Simmons to rejoin the Sixers once they return home. Philly's home opener is Friday night.
Coming up Thursday, the NBA continues, and so does the ALCS, as the Red Sox and Astros are tied at 2. We'll tell you why the winner of this game will win the series. That's Thursday morning on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
Chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Russ Mitchell, 1 hour from right now. We'll also talk to former defensive lineman for LSU, Christian Lockacher, who was also on staff at LSU under Ed Orgeron in the next hour as well. Right now, though, 1 of 82. Pels on the floor tonight against the 76ers. No Zion, no Ben Simmons, but we do have Andrew Lopez of ESPN.com. Good enough to join us. How are you, dude?
I'm wonderful. I'm sitting in this glorious New Orleans traffic trying to get down to the wonderful Smoothie King Center right now.
What's it feel like for you covering 1 of 82 on a day like this?
Because they didn't have a preseason game or many preseason games, it really kind of feels like, I guess, the first day of school for us. I mean, it's a new year. It's something you've been looking forward to. You don't have to talk about preseason. You don't have to talk about, Zion's weight right now. You don't have to talk about his foot. It's game time. We get a game to discuss. We get real things. We get rotations to talk about. We get extensions to talk about. It's all new stuff today.
All right, well, let's talk about the extension first, and we'll dive into tonight's game. Jonas Valanciunas, as you reported, agreed to a 2-year extension worth $30.1 million. Fill us in on the specs.
So 30.1 is basically the most that the Pelicans could offer him was 105% of his current salary, which is $14 million. So those numbers come in 14.7, 15.4. That's where you get the 30.1 total. He's now committed to them for 3 years, $44.1 million, which would have been better than the 2 years, 40-something million, I think, that Steven Adams was under. Now, I mentioned Steven Adams. I think that's where a lot of fans go. This is the second straight year where David Griffin has traded for a center. A traditional center doesn't necessarily always go out and shoot the three, and then giving him an extension before he plays a game next to Zion Williamson. Steven Adams got his before any preseason games last year. JV obviously gets his after preseason games. However, Zion obviously didn't play in those. I like this extension better for multiple reasons. One, it's a lower number. You're paying $5 million less. I think this is more in line with what a guy guy like JV could have gotten on the open market if he went to free agency next year. And two, if you want to look at it down the line, 14.7 for JV is a very movable number if it comes down to it. You take maybe, let's say, his salary and Josh Hart's salary next year, and all of a sudden you're at $26 million. That puts you in play, obviously, for a higher salary type guy with all the picks you have if something became available. So a lot of things to like it. I like it for the team right now as is. I think he will fit better than Steven Adams. I think he will help the defense. We'll start to see that tonight. Definitely his rebounding, but also a movable deal. Very, very movable.
Look, man, I know we're smack dab in the middle of football, and there's a coaching search at LSU, and the Saints are kind of in a playoff run. And so October is always weird to try to stumble here into basketball season. But it is also, I mean, the no Zion kind of takes a little luster off. Yeah. But, Andrew, it's also the debut of the Willie Green era. Give me some thoughts, your time around Willie Green in the sort of the preamble to this season, and what you think about this sort of maiden voyage tonight with Willie Green piloting the ship.
Look, I like Stan Van Gundy as a coach. I mean, as a person, he's good to me. But Willie Green is a 180 from Stan Van Gundy, the coach, in terms of the buy-in from these guys. I think that's already been we've already seen a difference there. They've talked about having more freedom in the offense. Josh Hart has kind of said that a few times, of being able to, there's more freedom to cut, there's more freedom to do whatever you need to do and not get pulled or yanked or yelled at or whatever, what have you. So Willie is still very kind of cautious with us as the media. Although we did get him to start talking yesterday. Credit to Will Guillory for this one, for getting him to talk about his Detroit Lions fandom and his 0-6-ness that he's dealing with right now. So we're starting to break him down a little bit, but he's all basketball. And I remember the first day he was there, he joked. He was telling us, he's like, man, look, I feel like I should be out doing player development work. That's, by the time we get into practice, that's when guys are splitting up with their individual coaches, working on shooting drills, working on dribbling. And he's like, it's weird to me not to do that. And in fact, I think that first day while we were talking to players, to keep himself occupied and not interject himself into other conversations, he just went and rode the bike for like 20 minutes. He's like, I just have to do something where I can keep my mind occupied. So he's adjusting to being a head coach. He has Jaron Collins with him, who I think is going to be an added asset to this team, especially on the defensive end. And so, he's going to take everything he's learned from Monty, take everything he's learned from Steve Kerr, and try to put it together. And, they'll see if they can get the Willie Green era started off with a bang tonight.
Man, they were a couple of wins away from an NBA championship last year in Phoenix. Now he's in New Orleans. What about style of play? Anything we're going to notice sort of noticeably different with Willie Green at the helm?
0.5. That's what you need to remember for Willie Green. It's almost going to be a little bit of kind of what you saw with Phoenix's offense last year. When he says 0.5, he wants his players to have a 0.5 mentality. That means 0.5 seconds. When you get the ball, you should know if you're going to shoot it, you're going to pass it, you're going to dribble. And that's what he wants, quick decisions. He wants guys to be on the move. He doesn't want them thinking too long. Think long, think wrong. So he wants you to move on and get going as quick as possible. So I think that may be the biggest thing that we notice is maybe a little bit uptick in pace, maybe a little bit uptick in ball movement from what we saw under Stan Van Gundy.
Is it absolutely ridiculously absurd of me to ask you game one what your expectations are for Trey Murphy?
Future Hall of Famer. When they do the next NBA 75 list, it's just going to be an NBA Trey list. That's going to be it. It's just going to be Trey Murphy. No, look, I have high expectations for him. I think he is a first-team all-rookie type of player this year. I think he will be one of the better rookies in the NBA, partly because he played 3 years and he's going into a situation tailor-made for him. He gets to go out and shoot threes. We saw how good he was at shooting threes in the preseason, and he continued that. He did it in Summer League, and then he continued it in the preseason. So he was shooting it around 48%. I think if you combine those games, maybe even up to 50. So I expect him to come out and shoot and score. And, it wouldn't surprise me if he is a double-digit scorer this year. Wouldn't surprise me if by the end of the year he is a permanent part of the starting rotation. I don't know if he gets there tonight. Willie Green may try to, slide B.I. to a 4 tonight. Maybe he starts Trey. Maybe he starts Najee Marshall. We'll see what happens. We won't find that out for another hour, well, probably 2 hours at this point. So, but I have really high expectations for Trey Murphy. I'm all aboard the Trey Murphy hype train.
I am obviously massively biased when I ask you this one, but I have heard a lot of good things. Garrett Temple coming home. He's a veteran, but seems like he's a guy that's going to be a nice piece for this team. What do you think?
Look, he signed a 3-year, $15 million deal. First 2 years are guaranteed in that sign and trade that brought, that sent Lonzo to Chicago. If Garrett Temple doesn't play 1 minute the next 2 seasons, I think his $5 million salary both years is going to be completely justified because of what he is bringing to this team off the court already. It started with team dinners in Nashville when we were doing the pre-workouts. He got guys like McKeelan, and I'm going to do it next time. I'm going to take the team to dinner next time. When the Pelicans put out a great video last night, it's called The Squad. It's like a behind-the-scenes look. And in that, it takes a look, and you see Garrett Temple addressing the entire team, not only the entire team, the entire organization was at this dinner. And Garrett Temple is addressing them. He says, hey, I just want to let you guys know, when I talk tomorrow, I'm going to dedicate this season to the victims of Hurricane Ida. Is everybody with me? Everybody in that room says yes. He's like, all right, I just want to make sure everybody's on board. I'm going to say it's from the organization. And just the level that he is bringing from his veteran leadership, I think has been sorely needed for this team. And I think they will feed off of that. Again, he could start tonight. He could play 0 minutes tonight. He will earn that $5 million salary by what he does off the court.
He's on Twitter at _Andrew_Lopez. Y'all give him a follow. Before you go, no Ben Simmons tonight. We know what Philly is otherwise. How does this match? It's just really tough because we haven't seen this Pelicans team yet. So how does this matchup look tonight with New Orleans against Philly?
The key about this matchup is going to be how JV, how Jonas Valanciunas takes on Joel Embiid. And I went looking to see, let's see how he's done in the last 2 years against Memphis. And actually, Embiid has only played 16 minutes against JV in the last 2 seasons. He missed both games last year. They only played once in the pandemic-shortened year. And Joel only played 16 minutes in that game. So I think that's going to be the key tonight. I think he can match up otherwise. I want to see what Philly looks like without Ben Simmons. Obviously, I think they'll be a little bit more cohesive tonight than if he would have played. But I expect a big night from Brandon Ingram. But everything is going to be on how does JV handle Joel Embiid.
He is Andrew Lopez. Follow him on Twitter at _Andrew_Lopez. Make sure you read his stuff over at ESPN.com. Thanks for the time, man.
Thank you.
All right, man. 1 of 82 tonight. The interesting thing with Valanciunas is he popped last year. 3rd in the league in rebounding, and he was 2nd in offensive rebounds per game. So you're talking about a guy that, for what he does, is very productive. It's a little bit of a throwback because you don't have many traditional centers left in the NBA, but he's one of them. And he was actually 3rd in the league in double-doubles behind Jokic and Russ. So you're talking about a guy that can fill up the stat sheet. Unconventional, maybe be a little bit of a peek behind the curtain of how Willie Green plans to use him and how this team will operate. But it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. Ed Orgeron, SEC coaches teleconference earlier today, did talk a little bit about the remainder of this season for the Tigers on the field. We spent so much time talking coaching search, but on the field. When we come back, I do think LSU is going to make a bowl game, and I'll give you some evidence to back it up. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery. This Saturday at Clegg's, been telling you, October 23rd. This is at the Segan Lane location. It is the Baton Rouge Green Tree Spree at Clegg's Nursery on Segan, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can buy BRG-approved trees. Clegg's will donate with every purchase to BRG. Also, ask our tree experts questions. That's this weekend. And you can stock up for tree planting seasons with the native and rare species. It's the Baton Rouge Green Tree Spree at Clegg's Nursery on Segan this Saturday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. LSU doesn't play till 2:30, so you got plenty of time to get by Clegg's on Segan this Saturday for the Baton Rouge Green Tree Spree. Support Baton Rouge Green. Get on by Clegg's Nursery. Let's beautify our yards and our areas. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back North Airway off of Airline Highway.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are now open for business and are ready to serve our customers with disaster relief employee pricing off I-10 in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crews at Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are going to do right by you.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rafino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I feel good about it. I mean, this is our team. I wanted to finish out with it. My athletic director wanted me to finish out with it. We haven't blinked. We moved forward. It's the focus really now is on Ole Miss, and really not much has changed.
Ed Orgeron Wednesday explaining his decision to coach out the remainder of the season after he had received the news that he won't be back in 2022. Let's be honest, there's also 17 million reasons why he didn't walk away from the remainder of this season, part of that negotiated settlement for Ed Orgeron's contract. But this is, I think, the best path forward for LSU and for Ed Orgeron. One thing, and when you cover a team, you kind of get to know players and coaches and tendencies. And one of the things that I believe to be a reality of circumstance with Ed Orgeron is when there is little pressure, I think he thrives. I think he can be his positive message, his energy, his one team, one heartbeat, all of that stuff, all of that rah-rah, the competition Tuesday, tell the truth Monday, all of that stuff plays. But when things aren't going well, nobody wants to hear about Wonderful Wednesday and Terrific Tuesday and all that sort of stuff. Like, you want to plan. And I think that's where Orgeron during his time has, when things are stressful, there is an erosion. Ole Miss, it was not good. And you heard all of the stories about Ed at Ole Miss. Berating assistants, throwing chairs, all the sort of stuff. When he was at SC and Lane Kiffin got fired in 2013, Ed Orgeron went 6-2. Why? There was no pressure. Yeah, he wanted that job, and I'm sure some part of him felt like he was coaching for that job, but realistically, he wasn't coaching for that job. There was no pressure. It didn't matter realistically if he won or lost. He wasn't coaching for a job he had, to keep the job he had. He came in at a time when things, weren't great, and there was no pressure. Coach had been fired. There was no expectation. And he did well. Went 6-2. 2016, Les Miles gets fired. Same situation, 4 games into the season. Same thing. He had a loaded roster. He had little to no expectation as everyone was talking about what was next. It's really just let's get through the season, have some fun sort of thing. 6-2 the rest of the way. Lost to Bama, lost to Florida. Not saying that he was okay losing those games, but you saw the offense open up. You saw players be lighter, looser, all that stuff. Flip side of it is, look at the start of 2017. He gets the job full time. He and Matt Canada are feuding. They're at each other's throats. And boy, they stumbled out the gates. It was bad when things were bad. 2015, when you had Joe Burrow and you were boat racing everybody, brother, one team, one heartbeat, hype videos, all love. He was energy. He was the face of it. That's where he thrives. 2020, social justice, Bo Pelini, no good, 5-5, boom. Look at everything that happened. This year, same thing. Knew he was coaching for his job. Gets blown up by Kentucky. They're fighting before the game. The hype video that didn't play. All that stuff. After Kentucky, Ed Orgeron was told that he wasn't returning. The public didn't find out until Sunday. Ed knew last Monday. So he coached the Florida week and coached the Florida game knowing he was not going to be back as LSU's head coach. And LSU went out there, played loose, played light, won the game. When you look at the remainder of this season, I think you see that Ed Orgeron, a guy that's not coaching with the burden of expectation. He's coaching out the string. He's almost he is a lame duck coach, which in essence is the same thing as being an interim coach. You're the coach right now, but you're not going to be the coach when the season ends. And when LSU beat Florida, it's changed, I think, the perception of what this team can be. Remember a couple of weeks when they lost to Kentucky, the only game that they were favored in the remainder of the season, either Vegas or like something ESPN's FPI, the only game they were favored in the rest of the season was ULM. And when you were sitting there at 3-3, the ULM game, you win that, you'd been 4-8, would have been your best bet. Well, you go out, you beat Florida, and you're going to count the ULM game as a win. So can you snag another win somewhere along the way to get to bowl eligibility? I think so, because I think what you're going to see over the next 6 weeks is interim Ed. You're going to see the guy that doesn't have the burden of expectation and pressure and results and has more of a free, loose, energetic feel to him. I think that's the guy you're going to see for the next 6 weeks. 5 games over 6 weeks, and I think it's going to serve LSU well. And that's reflected in a lot of the metrics. I mentioned FPI. Remember, after Kentucky, the only game the rest of the way LSU was favored in, according to this metric, was ULM. Now, look, they're a decided underdog at Ole Miss. They just got just a 28% chance, according to FBI, of winning that game. And they got just a 6% chance of beating Alabama. But it's flipped with Arkansas. Arkansas has lost 3 in a row. LSU has a 54% chance, according to FPI, of beating Arkansas. And then a 97% chance of beating ULM. And even A&M is a coin flip. A&M's at 46. A&M, LSU has a 46% chance, according to that metric, of beating A&M. That's a virtual coin flip in a game that LSU has at home. I think LSU is going to beat ULM, and they're going to beat Arkansas. That'll put them at 6 wins, which will guarantee them a bowl berth. And then you see if you can steal an upset somewhere along the way. Maybe you manage to snag a game against Ole Miss this weekend on the road, or at home against A&M in your regular season finale. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you end up 6-6 and you lose to Ole Miss and Bama and A&M. Maybe. Or maybe you find a way to snag one of those games and you get to 7-5. Either way, it's not good enough for him to remain the coach. It wasn't going to be good enough. We all know that. And he's not going to be back. But I still think there's some opportunities for the remainder of the season for good things to happen on the field because you have a coach that's going to more likely resemble the thing that he's good at, being a peacetime general, so to speak, instead of a wartime general. When stress is high, that's when he doesn't thrive. He thrives when things are good and pressure isn't mounting. And that's basically what he's going to have happen for the next month and a half. So, I keep thinking how different this conversation could be if they had run the ball late in the game against Auburn. And with the whole fourth quarter without running the ball until they were down. If they had run the ball against Auburn and won that game, LSU would have been 2-0 in the SEC, having won 4 in a row, going up to Kentucky with a completely different mindset, how different the conversation might be. But the reality is what it is. So LSU in Oxford against Ole Miss on Saturday, a game where the Tigers are 9-point underdogs. Lane Kiffin throwing up smoke screens about Matt Corral, but it is Ed Orgeron against his good friend Lane Kiffin. And Kiffin today, when he was on the SEC coaches teleconference, was asked a lot about Ed Orgeron, and he was asked if he and Ed have spoken since the news on Sunday.
No, just a text. I think, normally probably would have called him. Actually would have called him, but I think with the game of us playing them kind of was a little strange.
But he was asked more, like what it was like having Ed Orgeron on his staff. Remember, Ed was on his staff at Tennessee and at Southern Cal.
When you ask and I think back about it, the thing, I loved having him, as assistant head coach, recruiting coordinator, because we all aren't, perfect every day, full of energy every day. Like you have some days you're dragging a little bit, and it was just a great combo to have him. So if there was one of those days for him to, pick me up and let's go and let's, get on, we'd go and, be on 5 airplanes in one day, going to different houses and all those things up and down all over the country. So he's a phenomenal motivator.
Lane Kiffin talking about Ed Orgeron. Ed did reiterate today on the SEC coaches teleconference he does not plan to coach in 2022. Combined 3 years. In 2022, that he's going to take a year off, spend time with his family. As it's been expressed to me, Ed does have a desire to do TV and may actually find his way into that for a year and then back into coaching very likely in 2023 as a defensive line coach, recruiting coordinator. That role that Lane Kiffin just described that probably best suits Ed Orgeron. All right, it's at the further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. If you want to join us, you can. You can tweet the show at Matt Moscona at 1045 ESPN or jump in the Bayou
Twitter
Forward,
world.
or jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. We'll do overrated, underrated. Russ Mitchell coming up in 30 minutes. Christian Lockacher in hour 3. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Ichiban. Need dinner plans tonight? Essen near Perkins, voted by you the best sushi and best hibachi in the Best of 225 awards. Make tonight an Ichiban night. And from our friends at Ichiban, their latest concept is Bo-Ru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street. Bo-Ru Ramen, amazing. It is fast. It is affordable. It is casual. It is decadent. Handmade noodles. You got to think about this. Every single noodle is handmade right there at Bo-Ru in Electric Depot on Government Street. Some other ramen places, they get these big bags of noodles. Just walk into the kitchen, you see these big bags of noodles back there. Not at Bo-Ru. Handmade. That's because Patrick Wong went to New York and Japan to learn from the top ramen chefs in the world to bring this culinary classic to Baton Rouge. It's authentic. It's Bo-Ru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street. Try something new. Try Bo-Ru Ramen.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside, off the bench, Hunt and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, overrated, underrated coming up here in a second. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, WilliamsonEYE.com, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. I trusted Dr. Blake Williamson with my eyes. He performed my LASIK now more than 3 years ago. Still seeing better than 2020. You can as well. Ditch the contacts and glasses forever. Annual eye exam, contacts or glasses, or that refractive procedure so you can ditch the contacts and glasses forever. The Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020 or WilliamsonEYE.com. All right, Russ Mitchell in 30 minutes. We'll also talk to Christian Lockacher in hour number 3. Played for Ed Orgeron, coached under Ed Orgeron. That's coming up next hour. Right now, though, it's time for Overrated or Underrated.
All right, let me get my list here real quick. All righty.
I think the supersonic breakfast burrito is underrated.
Yeah, okay, you're a big super burrito guy? Oh.
Supersonic breakfast burrito.
Interesting.
Underrated.
Okay. Noted.
I think the Coney is overrated.
Oh, come on now. No, it's delicious.
Listen to the most recent.
You don't like hot dogs.
Listen to the most recent episode of Scone and Tea. At some point therein, we ended up. Was it on Scone and Tea that we talked about this? It was, I think. Yes, Scone and Tea. I don't know why it came up about corn dogs. Corn dogs. Oh, yes.
I love corn dogs.
Now I remember. Okay. We were doing the read for Bayou Carlin Oyster Company, which sponsors the podcast. They have one of their oysters that has cream cheese. T-Bob started talking about his love of all things with cream cheese. And then he started talking about how he ended up somehow randomly having a corn dog with cream cheese. And I said, I don't think I would like that because I'm not really a big corn dog guy. Then he torched me for not liking corn dogs. And I said, like, just don't think it's appealing. I don't love a corn dog. I don't love hot dog meat. And so then he was like, hot dog meat is gross, or like the what's in it, but it tastes delicious. I'm like, it doesn't taste delicious. I'm the guy that needs everything on my hot dog to distract from the fact that the hot dog meat doesn't actually taste good. So a corn dog to me isn't actually that good. So when I go to a ballpark,
a big corn dog fan. I like corn dogs.
When I go, it is about that time, isn't it, Muse?
They're good. They're delicious.
4:35, huh, Paulie? Like 15 minutes late. Yeah, it's about when it starts to kick. Yeah, right? Yeah, get it. Get a little corn dog hidden under there after you ate that, Eddie?
I mean, kind of wish. Corn dogs are great. They're delicious.
I bet you would.
Panama Red.
Like a little corn dog in there, Panama Red.
Doesn't leave that part out.
I know. All right.
Anyway, overrated or underrated?
Tots. Overrated at Sonic.
They hold a lot of grease.
Yeah.
French fries are better.
I do like the fries. Boy, they had something there for a while. Muso used to work at Sonic, by the way. I learned this today. Did you wear a visor? Someone asked on the text line. Did you wear a visor?
With a hat. Oh, come on. It's me. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
Well, I didn't know you in your younger days.
I've always been a hat guy.
Okay.
Always.
I mean, before, when I had hair, visors were in early 2000s. I wore a visor at times.
Okay.
Had a few visors. Quickly ditched that.
Interesting. Visor's overrated.
Yeah, visor. Yeah, come on. Just, like, by the way, what's up with Sean Payton?
Dude.
I need someone to find this out.
Yeah.
He's gone, it's just about face. He's gone from visor to hat just with no explanation.
I'm not a fan. Yeah, ball cap Sean Payton. I can't deal with it.
Why?
Sean Payton wears a visor.
It doesn't bother me.
It bothers me.
I'm just curious. That's all. I don't care what the man wears on his head. LeBron, when he ditched the headband.
Still weird, by the way.
Yeah, like that was
still weird.
That was his iconic thing.
Yeah.
LeBron with the headband. And then in the finals, and I think it was 2014.
Just randomly one time.
I think it was the 2014 finals. Like his headband got knocked down, so he took it off, played the rest of the game without it, and never went back to it. It's like, LeBron without a headband.
Not a fan of that either. Okay, anyway, overrated or underrated? On
the
field...
Reese's Blast, underrated. Giant chunks of Reese's peanut butter cups, amazing. M&M Blasts, overrated. People love M&Ms, but when you're into your ice cream and then you get a soft bite and there's a hard M&M in it, not so much. No thank you.
Chocolate Reese's Blast. Phenomenal.
What is that?
You just get them to add chocolate syrup.
Oh.
Phenomenal.
Look at Muse.
I mean,
but does the chocolate detract from the peanut butter cup?
No. I'm telling you, it is amazing.
Okay. I'll take it from you, Panama Red.
There you go. There you go. I'm about to lose our bed.
So you just thought
here.
Puff was the name of the boy's magic dragon?
Overrated or underrated? On-field mascots in college.
Are we talking about the costume mascots?
Yes.
Horribly overrated. I don't even know why they are there. You scare children. Nobody really actually gets excited and cheers because you're telling them to. And quite honestly, I don't know who's in that suit. Who is in that suit?
I think it's going to be a student.
In that? Maybe. Maybe not.
Could be.
Who is in that suit? And why do I want that person, that disgusting suit, which is probably rarely washed, some human in there sweating their ass off for hours in a giant suit? No. The on-field, like live mascots? You want to give me a tiger in a cage? You want to give me an eagle flying around and landing at midfield? You want to give me a buffalo running out onto the field?
Oh.
You want to give me a giant steer in the end zone? Give me all of that. Give me all of that action. You want to give me a bulldog standing on a bag of ice? Give me that. Some dodo in a giant costume with an oversized head coming to like hug on you just because he can because he's in a costume? Get not only overrated, creepy. Costume mascots, creepy. Creepy.
Overrated or underrated? Stand-up comedy.
Oh. Well, that's a good one, Muse.
How about that? Yeah.
I'm going to say that stand-up comedy is underrated because I think while it's hard to connect, we are living in an experiential society. People want experiences now. It's not so much sit at home and watch a movie. You want experience and events and things like that, especially post-pandemic. Give me stand-up comedy. Yes, underrated. But most stand-up comics are just not good.
Okay.
Hard thing to be good at.
It's true. It is.
Very hard thing to be good at.
Overrated or underrated? Little Halloween theme one here.
Overrated.
Slasher movies.
Overrated. Pointless. Get out of my life. Don't need it.
Okay.
Stupid.
None
Stupid.
of them.
Awful. Why do I need to see people killing people intentionally? No. Stupid. Get out of my life.
Okay.
No, thank you. What? So you just scare people? No. Get out of here. Stupid. Overrated. Awful. As an entire genre, awful. Stupid.
Overrated or underrated? Victory songs. Now, what I mean by this is like, okay, for
Pros.
example, what?
Like in the pros? What do you mean?
Right,
Okay.
yeah, like New York.
Yeah.
Like whenever they do the hockey and the horn in hockey, they play a song after every team has like their own thing. Something like that. A song they play every time a team wins.
Properly rated. Because if it's your team, you love it. If it's someone you don't, if it's a team you don't cheer for, you're either indifferent or hate it. So it's properly rated. Like when the Yankees play, New York is wonderful. When Alabama wins and they play Rammer Jammer, I want to vomit on every a-hole in the stadium. That's what I want to do. So properly rated. Because it's completely dependent on your allegiance. If your allegiance is to that team, you love it. I guarantee you. Does Boston have one? We didn't get to hear it last night. But
no, I didn't hear it last night.
Does Boston have one?
Dirty Water by the Standals.
Okay. And you love that,
It's a
don't you?
great song.
See? Do you love that, the tradition?
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
So how long has that been a tradition? Like 2-3 years?
Early 2000s, I believe. Is when they
So like
started
10, yeah.
Early
Okay.
2000s, late 90s.
It's like Sandstorm. Sandstorm's stupid because while it gets the people fired up,
I love Sandstorm.
Like
I think it's great.
Sandstorm. What year did they release Sandstorm?
I'm not sure.
08? Had to be somewhere around there. You can look. You got a computer.
we
Look
can
it up.
we can look
Yeah,
it
look
up,
up
yeah.
Sandstorm. When did Sandstorm drop? Like, so South Carolina gets all the people fired up.
Let's see, Sandstorm 2000 actually.
So they've been going 20 years strong with Sandstorm.
I didn't know it was that long.
A little bit more of a tradition there than you thought.
I like the towels. I like this. They spin the towels and they jump on cue. So good.
That's not a victory song though.
No, it's just that's kind of like
hype song.
Right, hype song. Yeah.
Okay. What else you got? Anything?
No, that was it.
That was it. Okay. All right, it's after further review. That's overrated, underrated. This is AFR, presented by Pluckers. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out. 26 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV. It's Pluckers, where if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. All right, Muso's going to have Tigers in the pros. Russ Mitchell in 17 minutes. Russ, a little earlier today, got something at his daughter's school, but he's going to accommodate us straight up 5 o'clock. So we'll have one segment with Russ, and then we'll talk to Christian Lockacher about this LSU team, about Ed Orgeron. He played for and coached under Ed Orgeron. So that's coming up in about 30 minutes from right now. Glad you're hanging out. It's AFR.
AFR.
I love reading reviews that people leave for River City's 1 hour here. 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. But mostly I love reading the reviews because you hear so often from independent third parties, from happy customers, what I tell you all the time about the professionalism, the quality of the work, why you call someone who's going to do it right the first time. That's River City's 1 hour air. This one came in about Joseph, their service tech. The review reads, Joseph was amazing, very courteous and professional. Also followed COVID guidelines, wearing a mask as well as foot coverings. I personally thought this was very thoughtful. I really appreciate his knowledge and professionalism. Keep up the great work. That's about a service technician from an HVAC company. But you hear things like professionalism, and he's courteous and did great work and took time to explain things. That's the way they do things at River City's 1 hour air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Thanks, you're ready. Reggie's in the window.
Barbecue guys, born to grill.
Pops, how many steaks you want?
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are now open for business and are ready to serve our customers with disaster relief employee pricing off I-10 in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crews at Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are going to do right by you.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
And a little bit of disappointing news around LSU basketball. Adam Miller, the Illinois transfer, has torn his ACL. He is done for the season. That is massively disappointing for an LSU team with an awful lot of expectation. On this show, I called my shot. I picked LSU to go to the Final Four. And candidly, Miller was a giant part of that. Cam Thomas is off to the NBA, and Miller was brought here from Illinois to be the guy that replaces Cam Thomas, to be the guy with the forever green light, to be the leading scorer on this team. I don't know who's going to fill that role now on this team. So, yes, that absolutely changes my outlook on this LSU basketball team. When the guy who you're counting on to be your best player, your leading scorer, is done before you throw the ball up. Massively disappointing for Adam Miller, for LSU basketball, for the fans, for everybody. They're still a loaded roster. There's no mistaking that. But they're going to have to find offense in a different place because he was supposed to account for the bulk of it, replacing Cam Thomas. Adam Miller, torn ACL. He is out for the season for LSU Hoops. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com, bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. Get to the website at ShawBillsTire.com. Hit the promotions tab at the top. and you'll see why. There are so many ways that Shaw Bills works to get you the best prices possible on the best tires anywhere. Name brand tires, BF Goodrich, Firestone, Michelin. It's all there. And check out the promotions tab so you can see all the ways that you can save right now at ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. All right, Muso has Tigers in the Pros.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
ALCS action last night. Alex Bregman 1 for 4 with a home run. Scored 2 runs as well. The homer opened the scoring in the contest. Came with 2 outs in the first inning. So far today, Bregman 0 for 1 with a ground out to shortstop. Little 6-3 put out there. Bregman is in the hole right now, but he may not get a chance to bat in this inning because there's 2 outs. To the NBA.
Who won that game yesterday, Muse?
The Astros won that game, man. It was a tough one. Good game for about 7 innings.
Who's
there.
winning the game right now?
It is 1-0. Jordan Alvarez for the Houston Astros took the first pitch he saw from Chris Sale in the second inning and deposited it over the Green Monster. I'll call a shot here. Jordan Alvarez, before his career is over, will win the AL MVP. That man is really good.
Mark the tape.
Mark the tape. That's what they look like. When you draw up the baseball player, it looks like that guy. He's really good. NBA opened their season last night. Long way to go, though. NBA opened their season last night. Brooklyn Nets taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. LSU on LSU. No Tremont Waters for the Bucks last night, but we did get to see the debut of Cam Thomas in the National Basketball Association. 4 minutes in a loss. 0 of 2 shooting. Did go 2 from 2 for the line, so 2 points in his debut.
Bench James Harden. What are we doing, Muse?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Get
with
James
you.
Harden
I
out
agree.
of there. Give me Cam Thomas.
I agree. I want all the Cam Thomas.
Kevin Durant was pretty good last night.
He was all right. He's okay. NBA action tonight, full slate, so you might see a lot of LSU. The Timberwolves host the Rockets. Nas Reed.
Oh, he should have come back.
Ben Simmons is suspended. Of course, so you won't see him. Kings visit the Trailblazers, so Trendon Watford on the floor, potentially there for Portland. The inning ended. Alex Bregman will be due up second in the top of the fourth.
Got it.
NFL action, Joe Burrow back on voice rest this week ahead of the matchup with the Ravens. No talking again for Joe Burrow. No media availability, no cutting up in the locker room, potentially maybe no calling plays in the huddle. In practice, I will say this, it worked out just fine last week going up against the Lions. Joey B was all right, and so were the Bengals.
I'm sure he's miserable not being able to talk to any of the reporters this
He
week.
probably hates it. I don't blame him.
Poor fella.
He looks forward to that every week. Right?
No.
No. Okay. Well, Joe Burrow back on voice rest this week ahead of the battle with the Ravens. Battle for first place. How about that? Between the Bengals and, the Bengals and the Ravens.
The Bengals.
The Bengals.
That's what they call their dance team. The Bengals.
That can't be true.
That is true.
No
That's what
way.
The Bengals.
Oh,
That's what they call
Lord.
them. Bengals dance team.
I
the Bengals.
got what I learned for the day then.
About time you all remember to do your what we learned.
Hey, I had one yesterday. Paul didn't have one yesterday.
Okay. They Bengal cheerleaders.
I see they changed it.
The BEN-GALS. Look, here it is.
Oh, Lord.
Look.
I like it. That's good.
Look. Show that, Paulie. Can you please? Look.
That's so good.
Look. Bengals. Told you.
I like it.
The Bengals.
I like it. Clever.
I love puns.
Puns are great.
I love puns.
They're phenomenal.
So the Bengals, I think, is really good.
That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented. Well, I almost did the big.
I almost clapped. I was ready too.
No, it was just like old habits die hard
do.
type thing. I know it was one of those things. It was just programmed into my brain. But we are presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge and all of Louisiana goes to get engaged. Lee Michaels, 2 locations in Baton Rouge, location in New Orleans, Lafayette, and Shreveport. And because Lee Michaels buys diamonds for 9 different locations, they buy the most premium diamonds in bulk, so they actually get better prices. So you get the Lee Michaels experience. Everyone that walks through, it's the Lee Michaels experience at a great price. Go experience Lee Michaels. Don't be intimidated. Just walk through the door. Their associates will help. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com. Okay, y'all, it is after further review. Russ Mitchell is going to join us to kick off hour number 3. We just got one segment with Russ. Had to bump him up a little bit today, but good enough to accommodate us. Then Christian Lockacher will join us as well. Glad to have you hanging out with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. 2 hours down and 1 hour to go. A ton of LSU and SEC football talk staring you straight in the face. It's all coming up, and glad to have you aboard with us here. SportsCenter's coming up to get you caught up on national headlines. We're back right after the top of the hour with Hour 3 of AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. Do you realize you can have this entire car buying experience without ever leaving your house? You can log on to SouthPointVW.com. Go to the website. There's an inventory search tab on the left side of the homepage. Year, make, model, body style, price. Narrow it all down. New or certified pre-owned, just hit the tab right there at the top, and you'll see the inventory. Every vehicle, if it's on the lot, it's online. They even have pictures, not factory photos of the actual vehicle that's on the lot. You can get the sale price. You can even work out your financing online at southpointvw.com. So then all you have to do, go pick up your vehicle. Airline just north of Highland. They could even bring it to you if you want, so you never have to step in the dealership. Or just go see all the friendly faces at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland. What's your direction?
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit GarciaDidMyRoof.com.
Hand Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm
Christine Lisi. Crucial Game 5 of the American League Championship Series for the Red Sox and Astros, with the series tied 2-2. Yordan Alvarez solo homer off Chris Sale. Houston leading Boston 1-0 bottom third. Big news from the NFL. Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield won't be under center tomorrow night against the Broncos. He's out, continues to deal with a torn labrum in his left shoulder. Case Keenum starts in his place. Mayfield was advised against playing by team doctors and his own doctor, according to ESPN Browns reporter Jake Trotter.
There's a lot of inflammation in that left shoulder, and he needed time for that inflammation to go down so he can get back to rehabbing it, strengthening it, stabilizing it, and everything goes well. It's definitely possible that Baker only misses one game, that he could be back for that October 31st game against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Both Pittsburgh and Cleveland are 3-3, 2 games back of AFC North leading Baltimore. NBA, Celtics guard Jaylen Brown, who tested positive for COVID-19 October 8th, is in the starting lineup tonight against the Knicks, 7:30 Eastern, ESPN TV. After New York and Boston, Denver visits Phoenix to finish off the Wednesday night doubleheader at 10 Eastern.
Coming up Thursday, the NBA continues, and so does the ALCS, as the Red Sox and Astros are tied at 2. We'll tell you why the winner of this game will win the series. That's Thursday morning on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Music. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. We're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. We're short on time, so we'll bypass hump day, and we will go straight to Russ Mitchell.
Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires. Russ! Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
If they give you a nickname, you're good. Rusty, come on up here. I'm getting tired of saying Tigers. There's too many Tigers in the league already.
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
You know, I mean, they're going to run this kid around like a rented step-headed mule.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
I'm a guy who spends all day breaking down Kentucky football.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
And I'm calling you out, man. We'll cut this clip and send it out there to Spurrier and the fellas.
It's like Troy.
Take it, Russ.
All right, we welcome aboard from College Football News, Russ Mitchell on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. How are you?
Kicking the tires, lighting the fires. You know, usually I don't come in off the top of the hour like that.
I know.
So I don't get to hear. Why does Shaq say that about you?
I don't like that, though. I'm like that.
So he
Give him a call. I don't like that.
He said, I'm trying to remember why he said I hate you. I don't remember why he said that. It was several years ago, but we have another one where he says, love you, Matt.
Love you, Matt.
There it is.
You know, I'm sure he's just being funny. He was funny even when he was 17, man. He's very funny. So I'm driving down the road, and the flags are at half mast.
Half staff. A mast is on a ship.
Thank you. Half staff. Is that half staff?
Half staff, yes.
Half staff. And I guess they're at half mast, too.
Well, if they're on a ship, they would be. But you said you're driving down the road. I'm guessing you're not driving on a ship.
I could have been driving next to the water.
Anyway. You live in Arizona. What are you talking about? There's no water in Arizona.
None too, brother. Anyway, and I look over and I see the flag at half staff, and I, within 2 seconds, realize that it's Colin Powell, right? Colin Powell passed away. And I've decided that the whole half staff thing should be like instant replay. I think that you should be able to tell within 2 seconds of looking at a half staff flag think you should put the flag at half-staff.
Noted. What did you think about Ed Orgeron being fired by LSU?
Probably most like if ever there should be a firing at a major program where it's still not bad, or like leave him on the tarmac like they did with Lane in LA, then that's the least it shocked nobody.
Yeah. Hey, it sounds like you're swallowing your phone. Is there do you have Bluetooth on or something, or are you holding the handset? I'm sorry.
I'm literally holding it up to my face.
Maybe you just got it. Maybe you're just really loud on your phone. Okay, no. Just maybe hold it a little farther away. Yeah. All right.
You trying to say something, man?
You're a big man with big vocal cords.
Step off.
All right. Since we only have one segment, we don't have time to do the whole recap preview thing. So, is there something from this past weekend that you would like to highlight before we look ahead?
Well, besides Tennessee fan, I presume, I hope you undressed those. Look, I'm old enough to remember when Tennessee football actually played for championships. And, try to behave like you are an adult. Try to behave like you've been invited somewhere before. You can't throw bottles and batteries and things. If you do that, if you take 25 steps out of the stadium and you do that, you go to jail.
No.
You go to jail for that. So what are you doing, man? Look, I know you're unhappy with how it turned out, but don't ever throw things like that at people in a stadium. It's
anywhere.
Really stupid. Anywhere, anywhere.
Yeah.
Don't do that. If you're that upset, just
don't do that.
Get in a fight. I would disagree with that too. I'm not encouraging anybody to resort to fisticuffs, but don't be throwing golf balls at people. How much of a coward are you to be pelting golf balls down at somebody on the ground? Every time I see something like that, it embarrasses me, and I was embarrassed for all my.
He's on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. I'm sorry. We lost you there for a sec.
That was a great game.
It was.
Look, Tennessee was supposed to only have how many wins at the beginning of the season? I think Vegas had them at 3 wins. Tennessee, that was a great performance by Tennessee, and for it to be marred the way it was, the cheerleaders had to run off the field with their things over their heads. Just embarrassing.
I know, man. This weekend, the slate is awful. There's only 5 games, and all of the lines are north of 20 points, except for LSU Ole Miss, which is at 9 points. So let's spend our attention there. Let's start with LSU. What are you realistically expecting from LSU going into this game, knowing now that their coach won't be back?
It's so difficult to predict college football games in the first place because they're kids and not professionals, despite what anybody might want you to believe. But then you look at this LSU team. It's so first of all, which offensive line is going to show up? The offensive line that played against Florida or the offensive line that played in the first half of the season? So, that is going to impact this a lot. But I think the bigger point, and I think what was missed in the LSU victory over Florida, congratulations, Tigers, that nobody's talking about outside of most of the country, or outside maybe of Baton Rouge, is y'all still gave up 500 yards of offense.
Yeah.
And you benefited from 4 turnovers, right?
Yeah, but turnovers LSU forced, not that Florida gave up.
Do you know how many turnovers, do you know how many interceptions Matt Corral's thrown so far this year?
1. So
you got to either figure out how to make this cat quadruple his year output in turnovers, or maybe step up and try to hold the best offense in the conference to under 500 yards of offense. I don't see that happening. So I don't even care how the team shows up. But what?
But Lane Kiffin said he's not sure if Matt Corral's going to play.
All right, well, then why are we even trying to predict what's going to happen? Maybe Lane will play some. Look, at the end of the day, this is the better team than LSU right now.
Yeah.
So, and they're playing better. The LSU's got all this uncertainty. So, what, do the players, first of all, do the players marshal together and try to win one for the Gipper? I don't know. I think he's lost the locker room, but they certainly showed up to play Florida. But as I've reminded everybody, LSU player hates Florida player. So, and I'm not saying that there's not the whole go to hell, Ole Miss, go to hell, but I don't think LSU player hates Ole Miss player with the same passion that they despise the Florida Gators.
I know we're short on time. You're picking Ole Miss in that game?
Yes.
Okay.
I would take Ole Miss twice.
What does that mean?
If it was possible, I would take Ole Miss twice.
All right.
I would take Ole Miss with my pick, and I'm going to take them with your pick.
Okay. Listen, I have said since the summer that, and I listen for whatever this is worth, which isn't worth a damn thing because my picks for LSU this year have been awful. I said during the summer that I picked LSU at 9-3. I thought they would lose to Bama, Ole Miss, and then they would go 2-1 at home against Auburn, Florida, and A&M. They had a shot to do the second, but they lost to Auburn. They beat Florida, and they could beat A&M, I suppose, maybe. And I think they'll lose at Bama. And I from the summer, I've said I thought they were going to lose this game. So I do. I think Ole Miss is just a better team. I thought that before the season. I still think that. But Russ, I mean, let's go through this. When LSU played UCLA, we both picked LSU. They lost. When LSU played Mississippi State, who'd you pick?
LSU.
All right, I had Mississippi State, lost. When LSU played Auburn, who'd you have?
Auburn.
All right, I had LSU, they lost. I don't know. I'm gonna go back and check your picks. I don't know if I believe you on all this. I will. I'm gonna check your picks.
Auburn.
The Kentucky game. You had Kentucky or LSU?
Kentucky.
All right, I had LSU. They lost. And then last week, everybody had Florida.
I did pick Florida.
Everybody had Florida. So it's been a very tough team to peg this year because they've had absurd ebbs and flows this year. So whatever.
I mean, to me, and I will give you credit, despite how poorly you have picked the outcomes.
Brutal. Not poorly. You're being nice by saying poorly. When you're wearing the collar, you're over. And I've even leaned more toward the homer side because I had them beating UCLA, Auburn, and Kentucky. I was actually being a homer, and I've been wrong.
Despite how poorly you have picked, I will say that, you did at the beginning of the year say that the fate of the Tigers would rise and fall with their offensive line. And it has, like when they play well, it's often because their offensive line plays much better than they have in other games. And when they lose and play poorly, it's because the offensive line didn't show up.
Yeah.
And that's not just the five young men out on the field. It's the coaching staff as well.
Yeah. All right, before you go, who do you want to be the next head coach at LSU?
Why you got to do that to me, man?
Because this is a show where we give opinions.
I want Lane Kiffin to be the next head coach for Louisiana State University.
I'm down with it.
Yeah. I think that, you and I disagree on whether or not we think Lane Kiffin will make a good, or whether or not he's interested in going back to the NFL. I do. I think at some point, he's still only 45. I think at some point, he'll mature, hopefully, and and he'll want to go back. But I see him in the SEC for at least another 8 to 10 years, and he Oh, my goodness. I mean, that offensive play calling with the talent LSU can get, I mean, teams would have to score 50 to beat LSU every week. And there's more than enough great defensive talent to put on the defensive side of the ball in Baton Rouge to be able to win every single.
He's Russ Mitchell on Twitter at Russ. Sorry.
I'm not. So it boils down to one thing: do you want to win football games,
yes,
LSU, or do you want to make a statement of some kind?
Win football games.
If you want to win football games, then there is only one coach available right now that I think you should take, and that's Lane Kiffin.
Well,
I'm serious. I think he's A, and everybody else is running in a B circle. But it depends on what you want to do. If you want to make a statement, then there's lots of other directions to go.
Well, the last three coaches here have won championships, and and two of them are Les Miles and Ed Orgeron. So I think there's more than one coach that could win football games here.
You asked me for my opinion. I gave you my answer.
I was just having conversation. That's all. Russ Mitchell, college football news. Follow him on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. We'll talk next week. Thanks for squeezing us in, man.
Later, brother.
All right, we'll see you. That is Russ. This is AFR. Christian Lockacher joins us next. We're brought to you by Pluckers.
AFR.
The official banking partner of LSU Athletics and the New Orleans Saints is Hancock Whitney Bank. They're also the official banking partner of me because I have been a Hancock Whitney Bank customer for as long as I've had a bank. HancockWhitney.com, HancockWhitney.com. My branch is the Highland Road branch near I-10. Where is your branch? Hancock Whitney Bank has locations and financial centers all over Baton Rouge and all over the Gulf Coast because for 120 years, Hancock Whitney Bank has been serving the Gulf Coast. Their slogan, your dreams, our mission. That is their mantra. Your dreams, our mission. Whatever dream you want to realize in life, maybe it's putting your kids through college, maybe it's buying that home of your dreams, maybe it's a second honeymoon, they make it a reality. Maybe it's opening that small business or recovering post-IDA. Hancock Whitney Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Hancock Whitney Bank. Find the financial center near you. HancockWhitney.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've got that blue sky. I've got that sunshine.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are now open for business and are ready to serve our customers with disaster relief employee pricing off I-10 in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crews at Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are going to do right by you.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rafino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow.
Failure happens to us all, but it's how champions evolve.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, news came down, of course, on Sunday that Ed Orgeron won't return. LSU in the process of looking for a head coach and then also finishing out this season. Somebody who has no doubt ideas, thoughts, and great perspective is our buddy Christian Lockacher, who played at LSU, wore 18, played under Ed Orgeron, and coached for Ed Orgeron as a GA, and is good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. How are you, dude?
My man, Matt, how we doing, man?
I'm doing great because Boston's losing.
Come on, dude. We're not gonna start this convo, man. I can't get into this if y'all not even in contention. Y'all playing at the fifth end, but y'all not even contention, my guy.
Don't you understand that it's way more fun when your rival loses than watching your team win? That's the part of being a fan. That's like it's the sordid part of the reality of being a fan is watching your rival in misery. That's why so many LSU fans actually enjoy watching Bama lose, so you see the shots of sad Bama fans in the stands more than beating, say, Mississippi State.
I get that, man, but you gotta have a leg to stand on, dude. Because what's crazy is
I've got 27. I've got 27 of them to stand on.
What we going back to 1940s? Is this what we're doing?
Or 2000,
going back there?
Or 2009. Either way, we're good. We can do that. Or the 40s.
We can do 18. We can do 18.
You can do that. You can do that. And by the way, you don't know this, but I did not even watch the wild card game because I hate.
Are you that disappointed this year?
No.
Are you really that disappointed this year?
I hate the wild card game. I am allergic to the wild card game. And by the way, Boston should not have had to even play in the wild card game. I hate taking 162 and saying, that really doesn't matter that you were better over 162. We're going to do this made-for-TV nonsense and throw it up there and put your whole freaking body of work on the line. And look, my team has won and lost that game. I do not watch it out of protest.
Yep.
I did not even watch it.
You and I disagree a lot on baseball, right? That is something I totally agree on. But you got to understand, like you just said, it's a business move, right? Business decision. It's an extra game, extra money.
I understand.
You can't blame them.
I can blame them. It's stupid.
You can blame them because they lost. That's
I told you I didn't even watch the game. It calls into question the integrity of your entire postseason whenever you're going to say we played 162 to determine who was better over 162, and you're going to arbitrarily create this thing and say, no, this is actually what we're going to do to determine who moves on. Stupid.
But Matt, to your argument, man, I get what you're saying, but we beat you 10-9 in the regular season, so we shouldn't even play that game. Then that's the way you're going.
That's my point. I said that, Christian.
So we're better than you is what we're saying.
This year, yes. This year, yes. That's how it works. Sports.
God, you know how good that sounds.
Sports is not arbitrary. Like, it is binary. There are wins and losses. There are winners and losers, and the winners move on and the losers go home. That's how it works in sports. That's why I love it. That's why we all love it.
Matt, that just sounded so good coming out of your voice, man.
Seriously. I'm a realist. I understand. And boy, this team really pissed me off this year a lot. I'm so.
You have all the talent, dude. You have all the talent.
I know.
I'm telling you, Matt. Before we get to anything, you know me. I'm a huge Red Sox guy. I could not name, outside of Chris Sale and Rodriguez, two other pitchers that we had, and we're in the ALCS. I'm not serious. I'm not. You know me. I'm a diehard Boston Red Sox guy, but I couldn't. When the beginning of the season, opening day, I'm like, what are we putting out there?
It's our guy.
I'm serious.
It's our guy Sully from Natick here.
Sully from Natick is not happy.
AKA Christian Lockacher, former LSU defensive lineman and former LSU GA. Hey, man, I want to get some – look, you got a great perspective having both played for and coached under Ed Orgeron. Just give me some perspective, man. Like you were with the team until what? Until about the summer. And and now, by the way, we'll talk about what you're doing now away from football in a second. But, man, I'm not sure – what was your perspective on how the season started and then the decision that came down on Sunday?
Well, man, it's unfortunate. I mean, I hate to see that. You know, Coach O is a guy that he's a grinder, man. He works his tail off, and knowing him personally from him being my coach and then coaching with him, you know, he's all about LSU, and that was one thing I knew from the get-go, and I loved him to death. And I hate to see how, you know, everything kind of fell off and we're being 3-3, but, you know, what a great win against Florida. Yeah. You know, and coming here, you know, a ranked Florida team coming into Tiger Stadium, double-digit underdog now at home. And they didn't care about it. Like Coach O always used to tell us, he blocked out the noise. They went to work. A lot of people were out. Didn't matter. You know, he always used to say, next man up, right? And that's how it truly was on Saturday. It was great to see. You know, I hate to see that he, you know, got dismissed, but, you know, Scott, you know, he came in and he's going to have a new head coach, and it's going to be really exciting to see who that's going to be. But I know one thing I know about Coach O is wherever he goes, he's going to be very successful, and I can't wait to see what that's going to be for him.
What did you think about, I mean, look, the defense, it's been interesting because they've been shorthanded, losing a lot of guys. Mm-hmm. And at times, man, we've seen flashes of them doing good things and improving. Like, I'd even take Kentucky. It was a 14-0 game at halftime. The defense did their part, then they just got worn down. What have you seen, like, having been there for spring and seeing what Durante Jones and this defensive staff was trying to do, what do you see right now defensively from this team?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Compared to last year, the communication is so much better. You see guys talking on the field. You see guys communicating. That's always been a big thing. I know in 2020 that wasn't, you know, whether it was confusion or whatever it might have been, a lot of guys weren't communicating like they used to. That's why you saw a lot of mishaps and a lot of big explosive plays. This year, you don't see that as much because you see a lot of guys out there being confident, talking to each other, getting the call in. You know, I hated to see that last second at halftime get that touchdown. You know, you try to bat it down. But other than that, man, they've been playing really good defense. And, you know, I truly think the communication's been that much better. And I think that, you know, you can see it going in from 2020 to 2021. I think it's been the biggest thing.
How much of that do you think has to do with there being one voice in the secondary with Corey Raymond?
You know, to be honest, I think a lot. I think, you know, when you have two different people saying two different, you know, I don't know if it's two different things, but two different people talking to you,
two
man.
Voices,
it gets confusing. You know, they might be saying the same thing, but in two different ways. You know what I'm saying? So that can get confusing. You know, Coach Raymond's been there a long time. I think he's the best defensive back coach, not only in the country, but probably not. I don't know ever, but he's up there. You know, and he's the right man for the job. And having him back there and just one voice, like you said, talking to everybody. And again, communication. Everybody has the same terminology. Everybody's saying the same thing. When they talk, they know what's happening. That's just being confident. I think that does play a big part to your point.
He's on Twitter at ChristianLack91. Former LSU defensive lineman Christian Lockacher wore the 18, and of course was a GA there at LSU until this summer. Tell everybody, man, what you're out of coaching. Tell everybody what you're doing.
Yeah, man. So I'm working at Mockler Beverage. I'm a sales rep there for Budweiser, Bud Light, Modelo, Corona, all those big brands, man. So if y'all out there listening, go get those. Shout out to them. But honestly, man, it's been a blessing. Going to work with them every day, you know, the mentality, man, is awesome. The people there, they're great, hardworking people, blue-collar mentality, just like myself. They come to work every day. They love what they do. I love being a part of it. You know, Mr. Chris, Brian Parks, Miss Mary, and then other people, man, they're just great people. And, you know, it's been a real blessing to get into that. I left in March from LSU. I've been here for about 7-8 months, man. It's been, you know, some of the best times of my life. And I couldn't be any more grateful. And, you know, I'm really excited for this journey.
You miss coaching at all?
You know, man, I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't. That's it. That it goes to the credit to what I'm doing. I love it, man. It's the thing, man. I'll tell you, Matt, is it's competitive. That's the thing I love about it the most. It's just like coaching, man. You're fighting to get your stuff on the shelf, and you're competing, man. And you're fighting, and you're scratching and clawing to make sure all your stuff's out there as much as you can, and finding out what's the best brands, different areas and different sections of this town. There's a lot into it, and for me, man, it's competitive. It's just like it's coaching. So to your answer, no, I really don't, because I really love what I'm doing.
Is it weird that I prefer Bud Heavy? That's like my beer of choice. Moose just went, ooh.
Say it again.
Moose was like, ooh, because he's like if you're like a Bud Light guy, people like light beer. I like Budweiser, like the king of beers. Like that's my beer.
There you go. You're old school, man. That's good.
Is that old school? I really don't know. I don't know the space a lot, but that's my thing, dude.
Man, it's you see a lot of seltzers out there.
Yeah.
Like you said, Bud Light. I love Corona as well. Corona's really popular. So Modelo, all those things, man. It's to you, man, it could be old school, but it's still something I truly, moving into this, man. It's really cool that you say that. Now that I'm in the alcohol business, now I've tried so many different varieties of beers, man. It's really cool to kind of taste what's what, and that's been kind of the coolest thing about it, man. It's kind of to decipher, what do you like, what do you not like. But when in doubt, man, you got to go Bud and Bud Light. That's the biggest thing at the end of the day.
Christian Lockacher, the coolest thing about being in the beer business is drinking a lot of beer. Yes, I agree with you. That is a great part about being in the beer business. You get to drink a lot of beer. You can drink beer at Tiger Stadium now as well.
Yep.
What do you think about the rest of this season? They've got look. I mean, you were part of that transition when Les Miles was fired and Coach O came in, and it was sort of this. I don't know the right way to say it, man. I mean, you were there at the time as a player. It felt like sort of the weight was lifted, and everybody kind of played free and loose, and then went 6-2 down the stretch. Do you think something similar could happen with this team now that the burden of expectation, the burden of Ed Orgeron coaching for his job isn't there anymore?
Yeah, I think that could play a part, man. I think you kind of look at last week. There's a lot of turmoil, there's a lot of outside noise, there's a lot of things happening. And they just went out there and did what they needed to do, man. A lot of people were out. I really hope that does happen. I know they got a tough stretch coming up, but man, you got to take 1 week at a time, as you know. And I really think they can, like you said, get a couple wins, man. I was always told, man, you got to start with a foundation, right? And that first foundation is what? This win this week or last week, okay? Now you got your foundation. Now let's start building off of it, okay? Let's take 1 week at a time. Now you come up on Ole Miss. You go in there. It's going to be a hostile environment. I don't know if Corral's playing, but that is a really good football team. So you beat them, man. Now you start building off your foundation. You just take 1 week at a time, man. And I really think if they just keep doing that, and they got confidence, man. You saw them out there, man. I think the offensive line, man, they run different schemes, and see what Ty Davis did.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really, hopefully, man, if they stick to it, it's going to be really exciting to see. I think they really can do that.
Christian Lockacher, y'all follow him on Twitter, on Instagram. Great former Tiger, doing good things in the Baton Rouge community now. Man, I know you got a date with your fiance. That's awesome. I appreciate you for squeezing us in here. Let's do this again soon, though, man. And maybe potentially Gamecoin ambassador, Christian Lockacher, perhaps.
Man,
maybe?
let me tell you.
Maybe?
Anybody out there, if y'all are not in Gamecoin, you need to get into it, man. It's something that I'm telling you right now. I love crypto. Crypto's a great thing, but it has done wonders for me and a lot of people that I know. So if you're not in it, it is confusing, but it can be done. So if you guys can get on it now, it's at 2 cents. It's going to take off. Please do not.
Hey, man.
You will regret it.
Dude, it's great too. Man, they've already raised more than $1 million for youth
How about
charity.
that?
It's incredible, dude.
How about that? That's the thing you look at. You invest into something, and you see again put out to stuff like that. That's the cool thing about it as well.
Hey, man, it's always great to chat. Let's do this again more often, all right?
Yeah, it was good talking, man. Stay safe, okay?
All right, man, be well. That is Christian Lockacher. This is AFR. Glad to have him aboard with us. I want to do it more often with Christian because I think he's got an awesome perspective. He and I get along great. We've been friends for a long time. Obviously, you could tell. But having played at LSU, he's got a great experience, right? Having played for Les Miles, was there during the time when Miles was fired and Orgeron came in, and then was on staff under O as a GA. He's just got a ton of experience during that era from 2013 until through 2020 as a player, having worn the 18, going through the injuries that he did. And Just always appreciate his time and insight. So we're gonna we'll do that again, and we'll go deeper dive as we move throughout the rest of the season. But we appreciate Christian. All right, it's After Further Review. We'll knock out a quick break. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hey, remember, set the date, or mark the date, I should say, on November the 6th, Saturday, November the 6th. It's the Healthy Men Project over at the Baton Rouge General Hospital, the Blue Bonnet campus. So we told you about this, during the spring and into the summer. The event was supposed to happen, but then the COVID uptick happened, so it got delayed. But the Healthy Men Project kickoff event is Saturday, November the 6th, from 8 to 10 a.m. at the Baton Rouge General campus of the Blue Bonnet. The Blue Bonnet Baton Rouge General campus, excuse me. Sign up or register online at brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. It's free, but there's going to be free screenings, Ask the Expert stations. There's even going to be putting contests and, batting cages and stuff like that. It'll be a lot of fun. There's going to be like a Bloody Mary bar and a rock climbing wall from Uptown Climbing. It's going to be a fun event, but a great opportunity for men to take care and be proactive with their health. brgeneral.org. Register for the Healthy Men Project kickoff event. brgeneral.org.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
In most cases, you'll never get more for your trade-in than right now at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Now's your chance to upgrade. You can pre-order your new Toyota today or choose one of our pre-owned vehicles and we'll buy back your current vehicle at a price that will absolutely amaze you. You can walk away with more money in your pocket than you ever thought possible. At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, that's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I got to move quickly here because I want to leave time for Otter Locks. Jimmy did want to talk about what we had sort of briefly touched on yesterday, which were the Vegas odds on the LSU coaching search and how, because I asked him the question point blank, how was Vegas so off? When they released their first odds, Mel Tucker was plus 1,200. One day later, he was plus 200. They were just very clearly a day behind all of that news. So we'll get to that with Jimmy. So I want to move quickly. I probably shouldn't have done this because I've brought more attention to the stupidity than had I just left it alone. But look, I don't know who Joseph Goodman is. He's a columnist, I guess, at AL.com, and he's got, even just me talking about this right now is bringing more attention to it than it deserves. But he's got a column up right now, and the headline on the column, and I'll acknowledge that oftentimes the columnist, the writer, does not write the headline. Usually an editor would write the headline. But the headline at AL.com is, which bozo will LSU hire next? And he goes on to say there's a reason for LSU's pattern of belligerent football coaches. I've not read through the entire piece. He tweeted that and said, don't act like you haven't asked yourself this question. New column on the mess at LSU and why it might never unlock all that potential. The never unlock all that potential feels somewhat like a backhanded slap, but I do want to say this. Objectively, based on the results that LSU, with its last 3 coaches, have won 3 national titles and played for a 4th, to say that LSU will never unlock all that potential is absurd. Because literally the only program in college football that has played for more national titles since 2003 than LSU is Alabama. The standard for the history of college football. What Nick Saban is doing at Alabama right now is something that we have never seen before and likely will never be replicated. This is the greatest era, the greatest dynasty that our beloved sport has ever seen. And likely will ever see, because Nick is the greatest coach that we've ever seen. He's better than Bear Bryant and Newt Rockne and all the great, because he's doing this in an era where it's never been more competitive and harder to win, and he's dominating. Transfer portal, a college football playoff, conference championship games, expanded schedule. Everyone's on TV. The advantages that the Blue Bloods had at one point don't exist as they once did. So if you're looking at LSU through the prism of Alabama, it may look like, oh, you're supposed to be the only thing that can threaten Alabama, but you keep making these poor hires. When in actuality, LSU's only had 3 coaches since the year 1999. Obviously, Nick's first season was 2000, but he was hired in November of 99. So in almost a quarter century, you've had 3 coaches. And all 3 of them have won a national championship. Like, yes, I criticize the Ed Orgeron hire. And I have also said today that with the benefit of hindsight, I would still go through all the muck of the Orgeron era because 2019 was amazing. Ask any program ask Ole Miss, ask Mississippi State, ask Arkansas, ask any program that views a national championship as a pipe dream, something that is unattainable. Ask any of them if they would give up 4 years of a disaster and all the crud that goes along with it for that one sterling jewel. You better bet you're behind. They would take that in a millisecond. LSU's had it 3 times and played for a 4th since 2003. It is objectively stupid to criticize this program when they have won at the highest level more than literally anybody other than Alabama in that stretch. No one is going to mistake Les Miles or Ed Orgeron for an elite football mind. That is factual. And with someone like that, could LSU win at an even more consistent clip? Maybe so. And we might get a chance to see that depending on who Scott Woodward hires. And hopefully we do. But to criticize what LSU has done over this stretch of 23 years, like, bro, I mean, you get into some of the good stuff Musso's got. Sorry, bro, I just had to. Maybe he wasn't even paying attention. I said that he was getting in some of the good stuff Musso's got. Oh, you're watching the game, aren't you? Yes. Thank you. Thank you for paying attention, Musso. I appreciate it very much. Musso's watching a baseball game. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're aboard with us here. Quick reminder about Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Windows door siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138, or reliefwindows.com. Remember, lifetime warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage with Relief Windows. So what that means is, storm comes through, your windows are damaged, you never have to worry about paying for them. Pay one time, you're done forever. A lot of companies can say they have a warranty, but is that business going to be open long enough to follow through on the warranty? Relief Windows is. Reliefwindows.com. Windows door siding, reliefwindows.com. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. Let me knock out our final break of the show. Otter Locks is next. We'll find out what Jimmy's got tonight, what we're betting on. NBA action tonight, the full slate. Got Major League Baseball going on. We'll find out what the Otter likes when we come back to wrap up with Otter Locks next.
AFR.
So every single day, I tell you, call Insurance Network of Louisiana to get better coverage for less money. And I really hope that you're not intimidated by this process because it couldn't be easier. You call Insurance Network of Louisiana. They'll take some information about your current policy. And then they go shop. You do nothing. They go shop. They have relationships with dozens of the top insurance companies and insurance providers in the world. And they go shop to get you better coverage for less money. And one of two things happens. They either come back and they say, hey, look, we shopped. We couldn't find anything better. What you have is perfect. Stick with it. That's great. At least you have the peace of mind knowing you've got great coverage at a fair price. Or maybe they come back and say, hey, we found you this option to get you better coverage for less money. That'd be great too. 293-0450. 293-0450. Give them a call right now. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net. Stop overpaying to be underinsured. lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my four boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at patientplusuc.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Thanks, you're ready. Yardbirds up. Veggies in the window.
Barbecue guys, born to grill.
Pops, how many steaks you want?
Vizzy Lemonade, the only lemonade hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. It just hits different. Vizzy Lemonade. Step up your seltzer game.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come, wrapping up a hump day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks. Presented by Clark Crane Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in St. Francisville. Because a great deal is worth the short drive to Clark Crane.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ottfather himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
What's up, Matthew? A little bruised up.
What
after
happened?
last night? Well, last night we lost,
Yeah, I didn't play it. Yeah, I didn't play it.
It's all about you.
There was no way I was playing Boston. There was no way.
What's that?
I wasn't playing Boston. There was no way I was doing it. Zero chance. So I abstained.
Oh, well, hey, man, you talk about some crazy stuff, man. It's baseball, postseason baseball is outstanding. Man, I wanted to clear something up a little bit. And listen, I'm as guilty as anybody as far as saying, hey, Vegas says, and things like that when people post odds. Las Vegas does not post odds on things like coaching searches, Academy Awards, things like that do not involve actual competition. Okay? The only thing they post is the NFL draft, and they cut off the action 24 hours before the first pick. Okay? The online sites are way more aggressive on trying to establish. They got to try to get some of the market share as it's new in a lot of states. But Vegas, when you say Vegas posted these odds and the odds for the LSU coach, USC coach, that's not accurate. The other thing is, I talked to Troy Macker at Bet Rivers today. They don't post college coaching searches. I talked to Johnny Avello at DraftKings. They don't post on college. They do. Professional player free agency. They do pro coach searches, but they rarely post college coaching searches. So these are very non-mainstream sites that are posting these odds.
Got it.
That we kind of we want to grasp to anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're so used to Vegas is so good at it, but this is not Vegas. This is not even mainstream digital sites. These are really down the road type of sites that are trying to do exactly what they're doing, and that's get a little publicity.
Well, the odds that I saw were from Bet Online, and that is one of the large.
That's legit. It's like I didn't see that. Okay.
Bet Online is one of the larger online, maybe the largest online sports books. But your point is well taken, and I think we are all conditioned just when we see odds, we just say Vegas. But that is a good point of clarification. But like to the point, Jimmy, they were a full day behind with Mel Tucker. I mean, they had Mel Tucker on Monday at plus 1,200. Yesterday was plus 200. That's massive because they just missed it. People here had it that Mel Tucker was legit and favored, and they were just a day behind on it, man. But
Matt, it's something as mainstream as the NFL draft. How much did we cripple them on that?
Oh, you're right. You do it every year.
This is way like they're just not going to generate any type of handle. It's going to be real low volume type of handle. It's just not a priority in the middle of football season. I mean, they've got other things. They've got other things they need to be paying attention to.
Makes sense. All right, we got about a minute. Yeah, give me
most reputable. Hey, Houston just took it a 3-0 lead. Alvarez had all 3 RBIs, solo shot in the second inning, and then a 2-run double here in the 6th. 3-0. How about all 4 of these games are going over? Tonight's game is too high to bet the Dodgers. Man, the Dodgers they own the Atlanta Braves at Chavez Ravine. I'm going to go with let's go with a little parlay tonight. Okay.
All right.
We'll go with Dodgers under Okay? And then in the football game tonight, App State, a little recency bias. We all saw App State get crushed by Levi Lewis and the ULL Cajuns. That's our last impression. So that is driving this number up a little bit. We're going to fade Coastal on the road. Much lighter competition for Coastal. The only real team that they play, I mean, we're talking about 4 of their 5 opponents are 120 and below in RPI. We're going to take App State at home plus the points against Coastal. Only game they played that was somewhat competitive at Buffalo, they won 24-21. So we're going to take App State plus the points at home and a little Dodgers under parlay at Chavez.
All right, Otter, we appreciate it, man.
City Slice Pints and Pizza.
Y'all
pizza.
Just through the north.
Calucci.
Calucci. Just through the North Gate. See ya, Otter. All right, y'all have a great Muse. What did you learn?
Bengals cheerleaders, Bengals.
All right, we're done.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, we remind you about the aesthetic medicine and anti-aging clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Theantiagingclinics.com. All of their specials in October are blood-related, like PRP for hair restoration, the micro-needling with PRP, that's the vampire facial, free blood checks in October, all the blood specials here in 2021 at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. You want to look and feel like your younger self. That's where you start. I would recommend to any guy, any woman, any man, any woman, get your blood labs done. Do your full blood labs. Let Dr. Todd Howell go over your blood labs with you to see where you might be deficient, how they can safely and affordably supplement you to get you looking and feeling like your younger self. TheAntiAgingClinics.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are now open for business and are ready to serve our customers with disaster relief employee pricing off I-10 in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crews at Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are going to do right by you.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.